I'm CTWE wrestler The Mac.
And I'm Showtime Stevie Stamos.
Have you ever dreamed of owning your own race car and taking it out for a test drive? Well, thanks to our friends at Rent a Race Car, you can!
Visit www.rentaracecarne.com for all the details on how you can take one of these babies out to Stafford Motor Speedway. We'll see you at the races.
Touchdown!
Living with anxiety or depression can make everyday situations and interactions seem impossible, and getting the right help can be expensive and inconvenient. We're changing that with Tranquility. Our program follows the highly effective gold standard, cognitive behavioral therapy, which helps people change negative thoughts and unhelpful behaviors by teaching them skills to practice in real life. Using Tranquility is convenient. You can move at your own pace from your phone or computer, and you don't have to do it alone. Your one-on-one coach is there to help keep you motivated and supported all the way through. If you're ready to unlock the tools you need to approach the day with confidence, visit tranquility.app to sign up for a free trial.
Racing action on Tim's Corner Motorsports is presented by Pache Motors, the largest Ram truck dealer in Atlantic Canada. Browse their inventory online at pachemotors.com. Tranquility. Help for anxiety is only a click away. Learn more by visiting tranquility.app. Finish Line Vinyl Design, the official decal supplier of Tim's Corner Motorsports. Like them on Facebook at facebook.com/finishline vinyl design. And by CB Warren's Auto Care.
And good evening. It is night 4 for the TCM 300 qualifying. Big night, Friday night. I'm Mike James. I'm here with Denver Matchett from Miramichi, and I'm calling from all the way from the Rock. But we've got drivers peppered from all over Eastern Canada, United States, and this is Weapon Night. It's the last chance qualifying rumble. We had 3 nights of qualifiers. We took 21 drivers so far for the TCM 300. That will be featured tomorrow night. Tonight, the weapons come out. It's the Royal Rumble. 45 drivers in a last chance for romance. Good evening, Denver. How are you, my friend?
I'm not bad. I'm ready to get this underway. We've seen some incredible action the last 3 nights. We saw 21 drivers work their way into the show, but this is it. This is the last chance for some of these guys. They were in the show until the final 5 laps. They got some redemption on the line. It's going to be fun. We got like 45 cars lined up. Anything goes tonight. Like you said, this is weapon night. We're going to, have 7 drivers advance, and we're going to have a whole bunch that are going to be weapons.
A lot of people are going to be going home tonight. We are calling from Kinley, USA. It's the Southern National Motorsports Park. We're going to take the top 3 in qualifying. We're going to give them 2 fast laps here. Then we're going to go into 4 heats where we'll take 4 top 5s, and then for once I've seen in a long time, one of my favorite races of the night is the Last Chance Qualifier. They're going to throw 35 laps on the board there, Denver, and we are going to do that twice. We're going to take 3 drivers from 2 back-to-back Last Chance Qualifiers. We called in the Royal Rumblers, but I think the whole evening that's set in front of us right now is going to be a full-on Royal Rumble.
Absolutely. Expect the unexpected. It's going to be wild. There's some big names, and it's going to be a rumble from start to finish. We're not going to know who's going to qualify right until the checkered flag flies at the end of the night. It's going to be fun. It's going to be wild. Any predictions, Mike?
You know what? We've seen some really big upsets. I'm just looking at the board. Dave Cassidy is a favorite of mine. The 13 driver has, but last night the 87 of Danny Chisholm was one position sitting on the outside looking in, had a big wreck at the beginning, and words of wisdom from Kyle. It looks like he's going to want to join Corey Hall, who was the feature winner last night, as well as Craig McDonald, his teammate, for Friday night. So we'll see what he has for us. We are, like you said, we're only taking the top 7 here tonight. We have quite a few heat race qualifiers before the 100-lap main. So lots of action in store. Brett Suggs is also in here tonight. So some heavy hitters. Like I said, 45 drivers. All these drivers had qualified throughout the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You called Monday. I had Tuesday and Wednesday. So a lot of these guys have already had a sneak peek at this Southern National here. And so it should be pretty interesting to see what they all throw down after they have had that sneak peek.
Absolutely. I think tonight one thing that you're going to have to watch is track position. That really seems to have been key over the last few nights. Not to say that you can't make your way through the field. There has been drivers dig, and they have dug hard from the back of the field. But really, the guys that have been up front have, for the most part, been able to hang up there. But if you get a bad draw or get caught up in an unfortunate incident early, it's really going to set the tone. You're going to have to really dig, and it's going to hurt your chances tonight.
Oh, for sure. And that clean air is going to be so important. But right now, we have 30 seconds left of qualifying here. And right now, top of the board, Kyle Boudreau is in there at 14.123. Next up is Brett Suggs and Matthew Barkhouse. That is your top three. If they can maintain that top speed, they will make it to the 100-lap main event, and they will not have to go through the grueling qualifiers that we'll see in just a moment. So top three right now, Denver, Kyle Boudreau, Brett Suggs, Matthew Barkhouse, 10 seconds left on the clock. Will they make the show here tonight?
It's looking pretty good for them, and that is huge. It takes a whole bunch of stress off as the timer, it's over. Kyle Boudreau, Brett Suggs, Matthew Barkhouse, they are in it.
Yeah, 14, 12, 14, 13, 14, 14. Taylor Layton is in the fourth position just by 2/100ths of a second on the outside of making it into the main event. But he's going to have to fight, and he's sitting on the pole right now. We are going into our first heat race qualifier. We're going to be taking the top five, and sitting on the front row, Denver, Taylor Layton in the 27 machine, and he's going to have Travis Roma on the outside in the 38.
Scott Alexander, he's third. Conrad Murphy, I believe he won the opening heat of opening night. He's going to roll off fourth. Jake Goodwin in fifth. Brad Hayes in sixth. Take us through the rest of the field, Mike.
And the 13th, Dave Cassidy, we talked about him earlier, is in the 7th position. On the outside of him, Cadence Frizzell in the 14. Derek Gates in the 29th in the 9th position. Terry Duguay in the 10th and completing the field, still on pit road. John Gahan, some really big, heavy hitters that did not qualify at this point throughout the mid of the week. So we should see an interesting one here because all of them do not want to get into the LCQ that we're going to see later on, the 35-lap last chance for romance. So this is going to be quite interesting. We're going to have a peek on the 5th position. That is going to be the transfer spot. And right now, starting on the 5th spot is Jake Goodwin. But Taylor Layton will have the hammer here to get things going. I am getting excited, Denver. What a night. It's Thursday night here at Southern National. And it's the 4th night of the TCM Special Events. Everybody buying for the big cash. Big meet tomorrow night, the main event, TCM 300. It's been a while. We've been racing for real time over the summer, but we've had a great run for iRacing this season at the beginning of the pandemic.
Absolutely, and there's no better way to get back into it with a big event like this one. We got 11 cars lined up and ready to roll. Heat number 1, the pace truck is off, and we are green.
Lights out, and Taylor Layton takes control with the hammer. But look at Travis Roma trying to make it stick on the outside. A lot of two-wide racing. Oh, Jake Goodwin almost getting a little loose on the bottom. He's got Brad Hayes just on the outside. So a bit of two-way racing right now, but almost single file. But Travis Roma still hanging out to dry out there in the front, hanging on with Taylor Layton on the bottom.
It looks like Scott Alexander. He's ready to make some moves. He's going to make it 3 wide, almost off of 4. He's going to think wisely of that and duck back in line. He's currently in a transfer spot. No point jeopardizing it. As Travis Roma working the outside, he is going to take the lead going into turn 3.
Well, Alexander now going to the outside. Tried to poke the nose to the inside earlier on a late, but side he's seen Travis Roma making it work on the outside, and he's going to follow suit. Scott Alexander now taking over to P2. Layton getting full on attack, 89. Conrad Murphy now to the top side. It looks like the outside line is the quicker line. Layton is getting punished here as Conrad Murphy gets around. And look at that. Brad Hayes looks to the bottom but gets a little out of shape. Layton maintained in that 4th position. And look at that, the one that I've been talking about. Dave Cassidy in the 13th on the outside. Now taking a peek at Brad Hayes for the transfer position. Cassidy to the bottom.
Dave Cassidy, Brad Hayes, that's the transfer spot. Dave Cassidy is going to take it. Brad Hayes is going to look to pull a crossover, just doesn't have enough. Dave Cassidy now is going to look to set sail and drive away with that position.
Super sharp right now, the 13 of Dave Cassidy. Signs that up, look to the top, look to the bottom, made the move. And Brad Hayes not throwing down a lot of aggression here. Still lots of laps here. 12 laps to go here in the heat race number 1. 5 will go to the show here tonight, and 5 for the big TCM 300 for Friday night.
Brad Hayes, he is digging. He's diving it deep in the corner, but Cassidy's really getting the launch off the straightaway as they're closing in on Taylor Layton. This could be a three-way battle here momentarily as come off before. Down the front stretch, we are closing in on halfway in this heat race.
2 quick cars right now. Derek Gates, Jake Goodwin trying to throw the fishing rod out to catch up with Brad Hayes and make this a run. We are at cross flags as they try to pick it up to the transfer spot. It may be that Brad Hayes is going to wait for the right moment to throw the move on Dave Cassidy, but Cassidy now is on Layton, and Layton may be in trouble here as there's a freight train coming through. All 4 drivers now connected, and there's a little bit of contact on the back of the 27 of Layton, but Cassidy's going to make the scrub and make the move and dip to the bottom, but Layton throws down to the bottom and throws the block.
Layton has 4 hungry drivers in his rearview mirror. He has to protect. He cannot go to the outside or he will get shuffled out of a transfer spot. But how hard do you protect? How bad do you risk potentially getting turned? If you're the guys behind Dave Cassidy, how long can you wait? How much patience do you have? There's only a few laps remaining.
Well, your top 3 has checked out, and the spotter for Taylor Layton and the 27 machine is busy right now. Alexander and Travis Roma connecting, coming up on lap traffic, but they have checked out with 5 to go. The battle right now for the big show here tonight is going to be Dave Cassidy and Taylor Layton. This is going to start brewing as Cassidy now goes back to the 5th spot. Layton getting around, did not want to be back in that pressure spot. Spotters are telling Layton to get it going. And Brad Hayes now setting eyes on the 13 machine of Dave Cassidy.
Taylor Layton must have found a gear. He just ran his fastest lap of the race, and he is pulling away from Dave Cassidy as Dave Cassidy begins to pull away from Brad Hayes. Now Hayes looking to re-challenge. We are in the closing laps. There will be 3 to go this time by. If you want to make it happen, it's now or never.
Well, Hayes and Jake Goodwill now trying to pick up that gap on David Cassidy. Cassidy, a bit of a sharpshooter, is going to try to maintain that position. He's got to be near perfect as Brad Hayes has eyes all over that back bumper as he throws it in here into turns 3 and 4. Now 2 to go. Denver, this is going to get exciting. Will Brad Hayes throw the bumper here in the final lap as they come around 3 and 4 for White Silk? The leader is coming through. Travis Romer, your leader, with Scott Alexander, Conrad Murphy. This is your final lap, but the big pressure point right now is on the 13 machine of Dave Cassidy with Brad Hayes looking for every inch.
Travis Roma is going to cross the line as the winner, but we're watching the transfer spot, and it's going to be Dave Cassidy hanging on to beat Brad Hayes. Roma, Scott Alexander, Conrad Murphy, Taylor Layton, and Dave Cassidy, they made it through the transfer spots.
Now our drivers, Brad Hayes, Jake Goodwin, Derek Gates, and Terry Duguay, and Cadence Frizzell will move on to the LCQs. We have 2 of them tonight. 35 laps will be on the board. That will be their final shot at getting into the main event here tonight. 100 laps for the Royal Rumble 100, and that will be the final qualifier for the big TCM Cash Days tomorrow night, the TCM 300, night 5 of this super weekend, presented by Tim's Corner Motorsports. We are gridding already. No time wasted here. We are in heat race number 2, and sitting on the pole is the 23 car of Joey Steers. Mike Rhino will be on the outside in the 34 machine. And look at that, who's in row number 2, Denver.
Is Danny Chisholm. Danny was running 8th last night. He got involved in a couple incidents, charged through the field, was on the verge of qualifying. He came across the line sideways, 1 spot short to his outside. Mark Williams. Brody Lewis in the 22 will start P5. To his outside will be Wade Craswell in the 67.
In the 7th spot, Corey Hallett in the 57 machine, and he's got the 72 of Jeffrey Todd Tufts, and then 81 of Colin Boudreau, Tyler Halloran in the 33, and Daniel Vitch at the back end in the 29. The 29 machine was pretty hot there the other night on Tuesday night, so we'll see what he has for us. He's got a long way to go, but 20 laps on the board. This could go fairly quick. We have not seen any caution with a green flag throughout the first 20 laps. Last couple of nights, we've finished all heat race qualifiers with a green-white checkered. Oh, crossover, and there I spoke too soon, Denver. I think I jinxed them as they pile up on the stretch there. But a lot of wreck cars here as Vitch now is going to get through this, I think. He might have got a bit. Well, we're going to bring in our kick-ass beef jerky commentator, Paul Showtime Strickland.
Snack time comes a little bit late here. Second heat race for the first caution here on lap number 2. And we're going to bring it to you, brought to you by Kick-Ass Beef Jerky. Be sure to check out their website and use promo code SIM500 for 19% off. But taking a look, we're going to focus in the number 72 car. You can see he's running up high. He gets, looks like he checks up just a little bit so he doesn't get in the back of the 67 car. Loses the back end of the car and just hooks the 57. Gets a couple other cars hauled up there too. So doesn't look like there's any big damage, big hits, or anything like that. You can see he's able to grab a gear, doesn't lose a lap or anything like that. So he's going to have about 14, 15 laps to try and get himself up into the top 5, get a transfer spot for tonight's Rumble race here, 100 lapper.
This instant replay has been brought to you by Kick-Ass Beef Jerky and Coors Light.
Ice cold wobbly pops and some beef jerky. You can't beat it, brother.
Hoorah. Night 4.
4 of 5. We still got all night tonight. We still got all night tomorrow night. And you know what's coming tomorrow night, Mike? You know what's coming tomorrow night that we haven't seen all week long?
Tell me, Paul.
Canadian Motorsports Hall of Famer.
Oh, yeah,
Dylan Langile.
Newly inducted into the Canadian Hall of Fame for Motorsports, Dylan Langile will be with us in the classy jacket tomorrow night. It's going to be a great show for the TCM 300. We are gone back to green. The 34 machine of Mike Rhino gets a great start, but the 23 gets hung out to dry and hard charging right now. The 87 of Danny Chisholm picks it up here and takes away that second position and put lots of pressure now, setting his sights on the 34 machine of Mike Rhino.
Chisholm into second. He is digging. He wants to get that lead. He wants that redemption as the caution is on the speedway. I didn't see what happened there. Likely it was in the back half of the field, but we'll get the kick-ass beef jerky replay momentarily.
You like saying that, don't you?
I think everyone likes saying that.
I don't know. I'll get you to start saying me old cock now in a bit, and we'll be saying cock-a-doodle-doo all night.
Yeah, we can do that. Just pulling up the Kick-Ass Beef Jerky instant replay. It looks like the 67 was involved. We're just going through the tapes here. It looks like it was a one-car incident, so it takes us a second to pull that up, but we got her here. We're going to give it to you in real time. You can see the 67 is down low, 81 of those up high, and they just kind of pancake there. A couple cars going for the same piece of real estate. A couple of spins there. Hits the nose off of the inside pit wall there, and grabs a gear, gets her on going. So one car, a little spin. Looks like the 22 of Brody Lewis is out of the race already. So some damage on the right front of that car. He's sitting on pit road. Leaves 9 cars here on, check that, 10 cars still in the race, still on the lead lap. And again, we're taking the top 5, moving them on to the big show here. The 100-lapper for the qualifying, last chance qualifying Rumble race for the TCM 300.
And this presentation has been brought to you by Kick-Ass Beef Jerky. And we'll do a check-in with Facebook, and we'll give a shout-out to all the fans tuning in here tonight on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. It is Vidane TV's TCM presentation, 5-night Super Week. It's Mike James here in Denver. Match it. Great night here, Denver. So far, we had a great green flag action on heat race number 1, but since I tainted it there on lap 3, we've had some trouble here in heat race number 2.
Well, we promised weapons tonight, and the weapons have finally delivered. 10 laps in, a pair of cautions in heat race number 2. We're going to try to get a nice green flag stretch going here. The 29, Daniel Veach, I don't know how to pronounce that name.
Like bitch. Bitch.
He started at the rear of the field. He's up into the top 5. He's in the transfer spot. So it's been one of those races, full effect weapon mode, but we're getting set to go back green. Hopefully we're going to get some nice clean racing in as the pace truck is ready to dive into the infield. Mike Rhino on the hammer. We are green, and a great launch for Danny Chisholm on the outside.
Chisholm was kind of sneaking ahead there. Rhino. Now, the producers did not see it or called it. They let it go. Chisholm had a little bit of a lead on Mike Rhino, but timed it perfectly and got a great, but Mike Rhino battling back on the bottom here as they go door to door. Rhino's not going to give it up that easy as Chisholm goes all the way to the wall and dives down here, trying to make it stick and look for every inch of the tarmac, but Chisholm now trying to duck to the bottom. He's going to stay outside. They will continue to go door to door. Mike Rhino putting on a show to the bottom.
This time by 5 laps ago as they make a little contact, little door slam, and Robin is racing down the front stretch into turn number 1. They both want this win. Rhino on the inside, Chisholm on the outside. They're going to battle it out. They're going to go right to the finish line. Meanwhile, just behind them, Joey Stairs, Mark Williams, and Jeffrey Todd Tufts. They are in your transfer positions.
A little bit of a check out, but Daniel Vitch has got to pick it up. The spotters are telling him, this is your shot. You got to let it go, but the leaders are still going. What a battle we got at the front as Mike Rhino will not give up an inch to the 87 of Danny Chisholm. This is going to be a contender right to the end as Mike Rhino inches him on here and will take it. Chisholm's got to drop to the bottom because Joey Steers is coming the hard charger in the Napa machine.
Mike Rhino, he's clear to the lead. Now Chisholm, what does he have left in the tank as Joey Steers is there too? Chisholm looking to the inside, this time by white flag in the air. 1 lap to go as Daniel Veit has gotten himself back into a transfer position.
Yeah, Daniel Vitch now getting into the P5, but Mark Williams will be hard back there. We are white silk out from Mike Rhino. I don't think the 87 wants to put too much pressure. It's not worth it right now besides position in the main event, but the win will go to Mike Rhino. And look at that, Daniel Vitch will take the transfer spot and he'll complete our top 5. It'll be Mike Rhino in the 34, 87 of Danny Chisholm, the 23 machine of Joey Steers, the 72 of Jeffrey Todd Tufts, and the 42 of Mark Williams. Actually, Daniel Vitch did not make it all the way. We didn't get to see that as we were chasing the leaders, but that means Vitch is going to go to the LCQ Last Chance for Romance 35-lap feature before we get to the main. But lots of action here tonight as we go into heat race number 3, and they are already gridding already. Pace truck is heading down front stretch, and it's going to be the Rational Richard Drake in the 141 with Nick Pache on the outside in the 61.
Starting in third, Tanton Woolridge, a Bandolero driver, a Mini Cup driver. He's driven everything in the Maritimes. Quentin Carpenter in the 12, starting P4. Brandon Campbell in P5, and Owen Marr will start P6.
And the lone Newfoundlander team machine, Ryan Walsh, will take the 7th position. Cody Fink on the 47 on the outside in row number 4. Dave Horton in the 73 will make up the inside of row number 5. And Caleb, I'm going to need some help with that. Urquhart in 10th position. Now, Doug Hubley is still sitting on pit road. Hopefully, he can make it in time. The lights are out on the pace truck. We are going to go green flag, so Doug Hubley could go down a lap. Rational Richard gets the start here with the hammer. He hesitates, no hesitation, and gets it going. But look at the 61, a little loose, and there's going to be some rumbling going on back there. The weapons are already been drawn. I'm not sure if they're throwing rocks back there, but there we go. The 10 car is around. Quentin Owen Marr and the 73 of Dave Horton are messed up. And look at that, the water the water cannons.
That
Almost
is a
got
tough
into the water
start.
cannons.
The stanky water.
Pulling up the kick-ass beef jerky instant replay here. Some tough racing here. These guys want to get into this race. They want to get into this race. They want to get to top 7 in the feature tonight, and they want to move on to the big show here tomorrow night, because that is, in fact, the end goal that everybody's been shooting for all week long. We're going to focus in the 110 car. He's on the outside here, and it looks like he comes down across the nose on the 73. Actually gets a little bit of help from the 47. Luckily, they get it stopped. They knock over that green cone at the entry there of pit road, but they don't hit the barrels there full of the stank water. So a little bit of confusion there trying to get them rolling, but it looks like they get them rolling here, and both are able to stay on the lead lap. So no big hits, a couple of lazy spins. Gonna have to restart in the back, but I think they should have something here for the guys at the end of this race.
After Tuesday night, Paul, I know next time you're at Stafford Speedway, you're going to have a smell of those tanks, aren't you?
You know,
A little curious, aren't you?
A little bit curious. Maybe we'll go Facebook Live and we'll jump on Vidane TV and we'll give a live reaction.
Because you know they don't change the water.
You know, now that I think about it, I don't think Stafford has any of those barrels.
Well, that's probably a good thing.
Yeah, we got tires and jersey barriers.
We are quarter way around now, lap 5, as the pace truck is still going to get them going here as everybody gets into position. Richard Rational Drake in the 141 will get the start once again. Town Woolridge on the outside. Brandon Campbell, lots of fans right on Facebook right now giving him a shout out. A few of the ladies saying that Brandon Campbell makes them hot, so we'll see what Campbell has and delivers here tonight for the ladies. We'll see, but the pace truck is exited, and Rational Richard Drake gets a great start. But look at that, Tam Woolridge trying to make the high side work here.
Down the backstretch they go. Drake on the inside, Woolridge on the outside. They are going to put on a battle, possibly just like we seen in the last race. They're going to go side by side all the way around. Woolridge trying to find something on that outside, but Drake just too strong on the inside. Woolridge is going to fall in behind as we are single file throughout the field.
Coming up on lap number 9, almost to the cross flags, Ryan Walsh, the lone soldier from Newfoundland and Labrador. The night is in spot, new to the U.S. Legends this season, putting on a show throughout the iRacing series at the beginning of 2020. Let's see what he has for us, but he is still in that pressure point at the halfway mark.
Pretty even lap times across the top 4. Woolridge trying to apply a little bit of pressure. Nothing big yet. They're just happy to ride. They know as they run right now, they will be in a transfer spot for tonight's main event as we are halfway through this event.
Unbelievable as we count down the laps. 9 to go here as they cross over. 11 laps completed. It's all Richard Drake in front. Veteran driver from the Maritimes, the 141 machine holding off Tam Woolridge in the 56 machine.
Drake, Woolridge, Campbell, that's how they run. A little farther back, Ryan Walsh is still hanging on to the transfer spot. He appears to have no pressure in his mirror. They're just riding around, getting to the end of this one as we are closing in on the finish. Drake pulling away as Campbell looks to be catching up to the 56 of Woolridge. Could we see a battle for second before the finishes? We got a car and the infield wall in the backstretch. We appear to stay green. And yeah, the Owen Meyer tough break for the 110.
Big opportunity for Ryan Walsh, as if there was going to be a reset there, that would have challenged that transfer spot, but we stay green with 4 to go as they come around. Lap 15 will be in the books, and it's all Richard Drake. Quentin Carpenter in the 6th position, trying to make a run now on Ryan Walsh, going to be the only lone soldier from the Rock who wants to stay in. And here we are, the 19 machine's got a couple of car lengths, but now Quentin Carpenter has Cody Fink coming up on the 47. The Fink is getting the spotter, telling them it's time to go. We are counting them down, 4 to go here, and that will come to 3. Lap 4 will be in the books.
Barring a caution or a mistake, it appears this one's pretty much going to finish as they run. Drake, Woolridge, your top 2. Campbell, Pottier, and Walsh all in transfer spots. No pressure really throughout that top 5. They're just running as we're closing in. 2 laps to go.
Here comes Fink. Looked to the bottom, but kind of lost a little bit of momentum. Lucky for the 12 car of Quentin Carpenter, as it looked like Cody Fink tried to throw it in there, but just did not have enough to grab. Now Cody Fink coming up, but it's going to be the final lap. White Silk is out for Rational Richard Drake. They're going to be coming around 3 and 4, and he will take up that precious pole position now for this heat. And he will be high in the qualifier for the big TCM 100. Tam Woolridge will be in P2. Brandon Campbell, the 99, will make the show. Nick Pottier in the 61 will be the 4th position. And Ryan Walsh from Newfoundland Labrador will make it to the big show here tonight. Quentin Carpenter, Cody Fink, Dave Horton, Caleb Urquhart, and Owen Meyer, Doug Hubley will have one more chance in the 35-lap Last Chance for Romance.
Great racing there in that heat race, nice and clean. The drivers were pretty content to bide their time up front and just drive away. That's what you need to do in these heat races. You can't win the 300 lap tonight, but you sure can lose it.
Well, we got lots of action still left. We're going into heat race number 3, Denver, and look at this, ridden right away. No time is wasted here tonight, as we had 45 drivers in for the big show. So lots of qualifying to happen just yet. Barrett Bonner in the 39 will get the will get the call for the pole, and he's going to have Chris Roma in the 83 on the outside of row number 1.
Behind them to the inside will be Jonathan Pollard in the 019. Brandon Lively in the 70, he will start outside row 2. Caden Tufts in the 88 will start P5, while Todd Cousins, he had a rough go last night. He's going to look for some redemption. He starts in position number 6.
And in row number 4 on the inside, Craig Kenny in the 90 machine. He's going to have Kane in the 35 to the outside. Campbell Delaney will be in the final row in the inside, the number 9 machine. He's going to have the 888 of Ryan Twinham on the outside to complete the field. We are going to get right into the action here as the lights are out on the pace truck. It's going to be Barrett Bonner in the 39 machine. Gets a great start. But look at Chris Roma going all the way to the wall to try to get some momentum. Could be a crossover here. Oh, baby. There's cars coming to the high side, smacking off the wall. We got action here on lap number 1.
The 70 of, that would be Brandon Lively maybe. I think he went into turn 1 and 2 and just never turned up to the wall. He saves it. We stay green as Chris Roma, your leader. Everyone's bouncing off the wall in this one. Barrett Bonner got it that time down the backstretch, and now he is going to get a challenge from Jonathan Pollard in the 019. Nothing there, though. Pollard falls back into third as he gets pressure from Caden Tufts in the 88.
A lot of smacking of the walls here, as every one of these drivers do not want to be in the LCQ, and they're stretching the legs as far as possible. And looking at the transfer position, it is the 2 car of Todd Cousins, but we got wreckage on the front stretch here, the 019. I believe that's Jonathan Pollard who was in the 3rd position.
He got the bumper from the 88 of Caden Tufts, I believe. We'll see it on the kick-ass beef jerky replay, but I watched that happen. That appeared to be what occurred there as they went into turns 1 and 2.
Kick-ass beef jerky instant replay, and it looks like you both are exactly right. Little bit of a bumpski there, heading on down. Okay, that's what the what we call netcode. He blinked out just a little bit with the internet connection there, and it looks like he got the 88 got into the back bumper of the 019, which sent him on around. So the good news is nobody. Now there's a little bit of a bump there on the inside wall, but no damage on the 88. Doesn't look like, just a couple of lazy quick spins. Still got, I'll call it 13 laps once we go green here in this heat race to see what these guys can get. Maybe get up into that top 5, and if not, we'll see them in the last chance qualifier.
That old sneaky netcode.
Sometimes she goes, and sometimes she doesn't go when you're dealing with technology. It's just the way she goes.
For those fans at home, Paul, just want to give the rundown on netcode for those new to iRacing.
Yeah, so basically with each of these drivers, they're all behind their own computers, they're behind their own internet connection. So there's a lot of data that gets transferred back and forth to each of these computers and based back and forth to the servers. And sometimes when the internet connection glitches out just a little bit, it'll you'll see that car blink. You'll see them kind of disappear for a moment, and then they bounce right back. That basically tells you that their connection, it didn't quite reset, but there was a little bit of a glitch in the matrix, if you will. And they had to essentially try and avoid that. A lot of times you'll see that too. If you'll see a puff of smoke come out from a driver where it looks like they may be wrecking, but that's actually just the car blinking out because of the connection.
The Matrix.
Everything tastes like steak.
Lights are out on the pace truck. It's going to be Chris Roma now with the hammer. Barrett Bonner to the outside. The 83 machine will get the shot here. Outside, always difficult. We've seen in the last race, I believe it was the young gun, the 87 of Danny Chisholm, had a great opportunity on the outside. Time, but again, it's very difficult to know when the inside is going because they're not next to you. They're in another part of the province or another country. But it's one that you need to perfect on the outside. But it's all going to be Chris Roma to the front with the 8 machine. Barrett Bonner now battling with the 70 machine of Brandon Lively. And look at that, Todd Cousins trying to come up. He is going to be in the 4th position with Craig Kenny with all the pressure in that transfer position.
It's Campbell Delaney. Oh, we got contact. We got contact in turn 3 and 4. That is the 35 of John Kane around. We stay green as they're going to battle it up for the transfer spots. John Kane's going to need a caution if he wants to get back into this one. Chris Roma continues to lead. He's starting to open up a bit of a gap, but there it is. You see it on the screen. The battle for the transfer spot. The 2 of Todd Cousins, the 90 of Craig Kenny, and the 9 of Campbell Delaney. That is going to be the battle to watch.
Well, those 3 drivers are very stout in the iRacing, and I've never seen them lot times, but all 3 drivers over the past part of 2020 have put on a lot of shows, so this is going to be a lot of pressure right now for Craig Kenny as he tries to hold off Caden Tufts and Campbell Delaney.
Delaney looking to the inside of Kenny as Cousins starts to open up a little bit of a gap. It looks like Delaney is going to dive in, going to clear for the 5th spot as we got smoke in the back. We're going to stay green, I think.
Todd Cousins is trying to bridge the gap. He does not want to play, boys, with 5 laps to go. He does not want to be in that hot spot, so he's trying to get every inch of the tarmac right now and put a gap behind that 5th spot. And it's going to be Campbell Delaney with all that pressure, the 9 car. He's got Craig Kenny, but Kenny has his hands full as the 88 of Caden Tufts is trying to bottom here now. He's going to stick his nose into the business and try to come for that transfer spot. Caden Tufts is on a run. He's going to take over the next spot, and now trying to get to the bumper of Campbell Delaney.
Looking for some redemption after that, being involved in that early incident. Here comes Tufts up to 6 on the bumper of Delaney as we got 2 laps to go. The popsicle sticks are in the air. What does Tufts have? Can he make it into the final transfer spot as they come? The white tablecloth will be in the air. Chris Roma leads, but the battle is for 5th place.
Will the bumper be thrown here in the final 4 corners? They come out of turn 2, and look at this, stacking up side by side. Tufts to the bottom. This is going to be a wreck here as the 19 gives it to the 109, and there will probably be a penalty over that, as Caden Tufts and the 88 machine is going to come around turn 4 and picks up that pressure spot. We don't have a lot of time to go look at replays, but lots of action on the backstretch as that got a little intense, shall we say, Denver.
Intense definitely would be one way to describe it. I think Tufts, if he went any further to the inside, would have been hopping over the wall into the pits. What incredible finish as they fought for the transfer spot, and at the last second it looked like the 019 of Jonathan Pollard was going to maybe capitalize, but Tufts unofficially hangs on for the 5th spot, and until we hear anything else from race control, that'll be the way it stands.
Well, it's that time. It's going to go to the last chance qualifiers. 35 laps are going to be on the board. You know, all throughout 2020 in the iRacing series with TCM Special Events, this has always been the favorite. And tonight, with all the drivers vying to get into the big 300 for tomorrow, they added 2 LCQs tonight. 235 laps. We are going to take the top 3. And that is going to put a lot of pressure as there is some heavy hitters here. And sitting on the pole to start it off in position number 1, the 17 car of Brad Hayes. And he's going to have the 12 machine of Quentin Carpenter on the outside.
Jake Goodwin will roll off in P3, looking to transfer in Cody Fink in the 47, Derek Gates in the 029, and Dave Horton in the 73. That's your top 6.
And in position number 7, Terry Duguay, who did not make it to the heat race qualifier. He was stuck on pit road. Not sure what happened, but he is in time for the LCQ. Those that have not joined the server just yet are sitting on pit road. Caleb Urquhart, Cadence Frizzell, Owen Marr, and John Gahan. There are 4 cars still not in yet. So we'll wait from 8 to 11. That will put a little bit of less pressure on the rest of the field as we are only taking the top 3. So some heavy hitters in here, but I got a funny feeling. I'm not going to pick any favorites, but I do like the driving style of the 24, Jake Goodwin. We've seen some really good magical moments from him earlier on in the 2020 season. So let's see what he has for us. He had some bad luck, but we are going to go green, hammer down the 17 of Brad Hayes, who was sharp. He's going to want to make it stick here as he gets full throttle, but the battle in second position, it's going to be Quentin Carpenter and Jake Goodwin going at it, but Goodwin looks like he's going to take that control in the Napa machine.
The 029, Derek Gates. He is all over looking for a transfer spot. It's the 47, gets all kinds of sideways, knocks the cone out of the way, keeps it going. We stay green. Wow, what a crazy little start here as Brad Hayes leads Jake Goodwin, and now it's Quentin Carpenter in the 12. He runs in third place.
Now you want to see something funny. Cody Fink hit that cone, and they timed him as on pit road, so he went all the way to the back, and he had to report to pit road for hitting pit road the cone, I believe. So I guess he dipped down too far into pit road that he lost all those positions and went all the way back to the tail. So he's going to make it back, and hopefully he can get a caution here so he can get a reset. But 7 drivers now vying for 3 spots into the main event, the Royal Rumble 100 here tonight. 2 final qualifiers here, and this is the 35-lap first LCQ. Last chance for romance. And Jake Goodwin has got a lot of pressure as our top 4 come together. And, you know, over the last couple of heat race qualifiers, we've been taking the top 5. This is where it's going to get intense. With only 3 spots, these drivers got to get on it. So we're going to see a lot of attention on our leader right now. Brad Hayes tried to hold off, and I know Jake Goodwin does not want to be in that position number 2, because that is going to be a hot spot as well as P3.
For a while, it looked like the top 4 came together, but now the top 2 starting to break away a little bit as the battle rages on for a P3, the transfer spot. It's still Quentin Carpenter, but Derek Gates, he's right there looking, wanting to get in, but he's got a long ways to go here. We got over 25 laps. We're only on the 8th lap of this one, or 9th lap now. Lots of time, lots of patience here. You know, no point pushing the issue too early.
Yeah, plenty of laps to go here as we count them down as we hit the lap number 10 here coming up. 25 laps to go here in the LCQ 35, last chance. These drivers, if they do not make the big show, that's going to end their whole week, as they won't be able to qualify for the big 300 tomorrow. Some heavy hitters. We got, I believe it's Parker from Joe Gibbs Racing won Monday night that you called. Corey Hall won the feature last night. So some big drivers going to be vying for tomorrow night for some cash.
Definitely. That's going to be the big one. You know, 300 laps is a long race. There's going to be a lot of action for that one, a lot of different strategies playing out. You know, you'll look at some of the drivers here in this last chance, and some of the drivers that were in the heat races earlier, well, they're still not guaranteed in. They got to qualify through the 100-lapper in just a little bit. But they're going to be coming from the back. They're going to have a lot of pressure on tomorrow night. With 300 laps, doesn't matter where you start. Anyone can win that one tomorrow night.
And Deborah, you know, we haven't seen a lot of pitch strategy throughout the last 3 nights, and I don't think we'll see it tonight either. So Friday night's going to be a big change for some of these drivers on strategy. You know, in the early parts of 2020 in the iRACING series, the TCM Special Events, we've had races. I believe Jake Goodwin if I'm correct, Jake Goodwin was probably one of those cars that was on the final lap and ran out of fuel. So once we get into the pits on the 300 lapper, this is a 4/10 mile racetrack, so it's a little bit bigger than a third. So that is going to be a massive strategy for tomorrow night. Tires is going to be everything, and also fuel strategy.
Absolutely. In 300 laps, that's a long ways. That is a long race, and definitely going to be fun. There's going to be a lot of pressure on these guys, and you know, you have to perform in every aspect. And, you know, the winner tomorrow night's not just going to walk into it. They're going to have to earn it right from lap 1.
And some big drivers going to be in that race. You know, like I said, there's guys from Joe Gibbs Racing that are going to be there. Was it Parker Young?
Josh Parker, I believe, was the winner
Parker.
Monday night.
Yes. But yeah, some big names going to be here tomorrow, and you know, some of the best drivers in Maritimes as well as the East Coast here. These drivers peppered from all over the place in this TCM. 120 drivers registered throughout this whole Super Week for the big Friday night. You know, 4 nights of qualifying is a huge thing, right? So tomorrow night, big night. You're going to want to tune in. I believe we're going to be starting at 8 or 9 o'clock Atlantic time and 8 o'clock Eastern time.
Definitely going to be fun. As we look on to the battle for third, still Quentin Carpenter. It's really interesting. I'm looking at the timesheets, and the lap times have fallen off about 3 to 4 tenths since the start of this run. So, you know, the pace really starting to fall off here. Maybe the drivers just biding their time. Maybe the tires wearing off just a little bit. But it's Brad Hayes leading Jake Goodwin there. They got a pretty comfortable gap, but the battle for third, what has Derek Gates been saving as we are closing in? We got about 12 laps remaining in this one.
Well, with no pressure in the fourth back right now, basically we have two groups up in front. 1 and 2 are just kind of coasting up there. Jake Goodwin and Brad Hayes are kind of working together. They're not putting a lot of pressure, not using up that car. But Derek Gates is definitely getting some input from his spotter right now, testing the waters, checking the bottom, checking the high half car right now on Quentin Carpenter. So, you know, it's all about timing. You know, they don't have a lot of pressure behind them. So when do you want to make that move is the thing. You got to be within striking distance. You know, will there be a scrub? Maybe not, but we'll see what Derek Gates has in store for us, because I'm sure right now himself and the spotter are actually talking strategy and sizing up to Quentin Carpenter. And I'm sure Quentin Carpenter's got a full mirror and a little bit of stress now in that position. He's going to try to want to pick it up, but there's the bump. It's going to come a little bit earlier as the 29 of Derek Gates gives him a route. And he's going to want to get it started early. 8 laps to go here. And Derek Gates testing the waters already.
Action beginning to pick up. Gates and Carpenter are going to battle for the final transfer spot. Gates getting a little rough, putting the bumper. That's good old short track racing. Right now, honestly, with still got about 6-7 laps to go, honestly putting some pressure on, hoping that the 12 makes a mistake. You still got lots of time. No point, you know, triggering a wreck, and then you have to go all the way to the back of the field. Just put some pressure on and see what you can make happen.
And that's something we haven't seen all week, a really good bump and run. You know, a lot of the guys have come up, and we've seen a lot of wrecks. But right now, Derek Gates testing the waters, was hoping for a little bit of a wash-up and open the door, but you got to give it to the 12 car, Quentin Carpenter, who's been near perfect and is holding on to that third position. Spotters are intensifying right now as we count down the laps. 5 to go here. It's showtime. And look at this, Jake Goodwin now putting pressure on our leader, Brad Hayes, in the 17 machine, trying to take it up. This is a precious starting point for position.
Do we have a caution? We have a caution on the track with just 4 laps remaining to end.
Oh, dear.
Wow.
And Quentin Carpenter is down pit road.
Wow.
What just transpired? But that's going to bring in kick-ass beef jerky. Our showtime, Paul Strickland, will fill us in.
That's me, and man, you saw the same thing I did as we were rewinding there.
Damn!
As soon as we took the cameras off that third place battle, it heated up in a big, big way. Gonna focus in the number 12 car, running third place right now. At the time, gets a bump from the 029. It sends him down pit road. He hits
almost
in the
into the stank water.
Almost into the stank water, so he loses, doesn't lose a lap, but he gets put all the way back at the pack because he has to drive down at 35 miles an hour to obey pit road speed without getting a penalty. And that actually looks like that's going to put Derek Gates back in the 6th position, a penalty because he caused that caution, as we take a look at the timing and scoring. So that's going to shake things up just a little bit, boys.
Cody Fink just sent a gift to Derek Gates for an early Christmas gift.
Wow.
Cody Fink now in the 47 machine that was sharp at the beginning here will start on the inside. Now, I like position number 3 in these iRacing because, you know, unless you time it properly, like we seen earlier with the 87 machine of Danny Chisholm, if the outside falls asleep, it really opens the door for P3. And Cody Fink will have that opportunity. Dave Horton will start on the outside of row number 2. But look at that, Quentin Carpenter and Derek Gates are in row 3, so it's not over for those guys as we get into it. Look at that, green flag, nice and clean, but look at that, 71 washes up the track and opens the door. Cody Fink going to try to hang on here and dip down. Oh, we got contact.
Wow.
And the 71 machine is around, and the 47's around. And there's
the caution.
Roundy. Let's bring in our kick-ass beef jerky because this should be interesting.
I think we just wrecked everyone from second on back, or third on back.
We were doing pretty good with the green-white checkers. Last night and the night before, I think every single race ended with a green-white checker. We did pretty good tonight, and now all of a sudden we've got a second one here. But just rewinding the Kick-Ass Beef Jerky instant replay. Lots of calamity as we're looking at it here, Mikey.
Calamity.
Sam, we're going to look right from the restart. So you got the 17, 24 spins of tires, just a little bit of door banging there from the 47 to 73. 12 cars coming up in the mix. You can see the 73, the 12 big wiggle, the 73 big wiggle. Everybody wiggles at the same time. It looks like a big hit there for the 014. Just looks like a lot of guys lost control of the back end of the race car at the same time, almost in the same lane of traffic. But man,
Dave Horton was out there doing slalom.
He's doing something, that's for sure. We'll back that up one more time.
He was doing moguls. Thought he was downhill skiing.
Yeah, he came down, hit a couple of cars. It looks like he slams the outside wall. It's Tim Horton's brother. He was trying to offer everybody up some Dave bits, but apparently nobody was interested there. That's not true.
Didn't Dave from Wendy's buy Tim Hortons?
Maybe. Is that who we're looking at right now? Wouldn't he be sponsored by somebody other than Mellow Yellow? We're not sure. Don't listen to our fact TV. But Dave Horton's still running fifth right now. We'll see what he can do. We'll see what these guys, who's going to transfer on to the big show tonight.
Dave's daughter is hot.
The Wendy's guy. Green flag.
Green-white checkered. It is overtime and a lot of smoke, but we're going to stay green here as Jake Goodwin holds on to that P2. But look at that. Quentin Carpenter's back in the hot seat, and it's going to be Derek Gates by him for that spot. This is not over yet as Gates throws it in there. We are still for our leaders.
Contact at the back. Oh, and there's Gates to the inside wall. That is going to leave Carpenter to drive away with the transfer spot. It's going to be Brad Hayes, your winner. Jake Goodwin in second, and Carpenter is going to come home in third. He was third before the contact to bring out that first caution, and he ends up right back in third.
Well, that's great for Quentin Carpenter because, unfortunately, he had control and then had to go all the way to the back because of that earlier caution. But picking up that transfer spot, I know he wasn't sweating throughout that whole 35 laps. No hesitation here. We are in our final qualifier. It's the last 35 laps. Last chance for romance. And sitting on the pole is the 29 machine of Daniel Vitch. Craig Kenny will be on the outside of row number 1 with the 90. And look at that. Take us home, Denver.
Corey Hallett, I hope I pronounced that right. The 57 will roll off P3 to Hallett. Corey Hallett, apologies. Campbell Delaney in the 9 rolls off P4, followed by Colin Woodrow and Ryan Twittem. I remember the other night, Ryan Twittem almost had himself in the show. He's going to look to get in the last chance qualifier here now.
And in the 7th position in the 33 machine, Tyler Hallahan will be on the inside of row number 4. John Kane in the 35 will be on the outside. In row number 5 in the 67 machine, Wade Craswell, who's been hot this 2020 season, on his outside. The 19 machine of Jonathan Pollard. And completing the field is going to be Brody Lewis and Doug Hubley. Hubley still sitting on pit road.
As they head into turn 3, the nerves, the butterflies, they're all about to go away. Pace truck is off, and it's going to be Daniel Vitch on the hammer. Green flag is in the air as they barrel off into turn number 1. He's going to come away with the lead as Craig Kenny slides into second. Oh, we got a wreck on the backstretch.
Bombs over Baghdad.
Weapons in full effect weapon mode. We stay green, though.
Scuds.
We are still green flag racing.
Oh, well, I guess the production office is not messing around. Someone wants to go to Tim Hortons. Craig Kenny, your new leader, now taking control over the 29 of Daniel Vitt. Campbell Delaney in the 3rd spot in the 9 machine. Corey Howlett in the top 4. But Daniel Vitch now on pit road. Not sure what happened there. He was one of the leaders, now sitting on pit road. I don't know if he timed out or something wrong with computer issues. But Daniel Vitch is not looking good right now. Still sitting on pit road, down a lap, and that could be the end of the night for Daniel Vitch.
What a chaotic start to this one. We saw a nice and tame start to the last chance. Not so this time. But it's Craig Kenny. He takes advantage. He is in the lead and pulling away from Campbell Delaney as the battle wages on. Colin Woodrow is looking for the transfer spot.
Boudreaux's been super hot in 2020, so we'll see what he has for Corey Howland in the 7 machine. That will be the position looking in. Corey Howland in P3 trying to hang on here. Lots of laps to go as we complete lap 6. Or lap 7 of 35. So plenty of opportunities to come from the back. Ryan Twinham all the way back in P10 in the 888. Wade Craswell in the 9th position in the Bud machine. So we've got plenty of time for some of these guys to come up, but they're going to have to step on it right now. Huge battle right now in the mid-pack cars. I believe that's 81 of Colin Boudreau, who's going to be the baloney between Corey Howlett and Tyler Hallahan. So that's heating up as the 57 machine of Corey Howlett in the P3 is getting tons of pressure.
All the pressure, lots early in this race. This time he's going to look to gap it a little bit. Boudreau looked to lose the handling just slightly coming off before. No harm, no foul. He gathers it up and keeps it going as he looks to regroup and hunt down the 57 as the top two have checked out. Craig Kenny's got about a second lead over Campbell Delaney. They are comfortably in transfer spots, but this battle is going to wage on as Colin Boudreau is looking to be running out of patience.
Jonathan Pollard now in the 19 machine coming into battle for the P3. Transfer position, all 4 cars vying for it. And at the tail in 6th position, Jonathan Pollard now scrubbing the back bumper of the 33 of Tyler Hallahan. Oh, baby, it's going to be brewing here as we complete lap number 13. And the time is ticking. It's time to go. Oh, a little contact. Pollard gets in the rear quarter of Tyler Hallahan, gets him out of shape. I don't think Hallahan was too happy. Pollard washes up the track. That's going to intensify as our P3, Corey Howlett and Colin Boudreau kind of check out as Hallahan and Pollard are taking off the gloves early.
We got some lap traffic, I believe, starting to come into play up front, but it's still Craig Kenny. He's opened the gap up to a 2.5 seconds. We got a battle for 3rd. We got a battle for 5th. As we are 20 laps to go in this race. And it looks like Jonathan Pollard is going to use the bumper. He dives to the inside of Tyler Hallahan, who is driving his grandfather Jim Hallahan's tribute car. And he's going to look to repay the favor. And we are still green. There's the caution.
The yellow's going to come out. But a little foreshadowing there as Pollard and Hallahan were going at it. Man, this is going to be a wild night. But I believe they're going to go to the back of the pack so they can sort their differences out at the tail. That's going to bring in Beef Jerky, our kick-ass Beef Jerky commentator, Paul Strickland Jr. Well, what'd you think of that?
Some tough racing. We're going to repeat it here from when the 019 dips down low to the inside of Hallahan. Hallahan tries to cross over, doesn't quite get low enough there, and gets right square into the back bumper of the 019 of Pollard. So tough break there. Definitely going to be an all-at-fault caution. Probably going to get sent to the back of the pack, and it gives them about half of this last chance qualifier to try and make their way back up through the track. But there's a lot of fast cars in this LCQ race, this Conti race, if you will. So it's going to be tough to see who's going to make their way up to those top transfer positions.
Yeah, looking at the score clock, like you said, Jonathan Pollard was one of the quicker cars. So a little bit of aggression, it's almost you got to in these LCQs. You got to be able to throw the bumper now and then to try to maintain position. We've seen throughout the heat race qualifiers, the outside line was looking good and a lot of rubber out on the outside. We haven't seen that in the LCQs. Not a lot of the guys are taking advantage to the outside. So a lot of paddles on the bottom here, and a few bumpers been thrown here in the early parts, but 20 laps are counted down. We are probably going to be to 14 laps to go here, but that's going to change it up as Craig Kenny will now have a lot of pressure from Campbell Delaney. Boudreau will be on the outside in P2. Really opens the door for Corey Howlett, who's going to be on that inside. I really like that P3, especially if the outside falls asleep at the wheel on this restart here. Lights are out on the pace truck, Denver. We are going to go back to green. The 90 car of Craig Kenny gets the hammer. We are on the back stretch coming around 3 and 4. The pace truck will exit this go by, and Craig Kenny will have that pressure of a great restart here. Will he hesitate or will he drop the hammer? He's going to slow it around, and he's going to hold it back, and he's going to drop now a lot of drivers did not hesitate as soon as that pace truck's out of the way, but Craig Kenny snailed him around a little bit longer for about a second and held him back. A great restart from the 90 machine. And the 22 is into Pollard. Pollard is on a mission now and throwing a lot of carnage back there, trying to come from the back to the front.
This is going to be wild as the top two once again look to check out the battle for third. Colin Woodrow, Corey Hallett. They are side by side as Pollard looks to dig from the back of the field. He's to the outside of Holland. The 33 and 019 together again down the backstretch. They got Ryan Twinham all over their rear bumper looking to get in the mix. As little contact, Pollard up the track and loose. He saves it, but now he's got to regather and get back to work. Settle down, refocus. He's got a long ways to go. He is running towards the back of the pack.
Well, Pollard's using up a lot of that machine with 10 laps to go. He knows he's got to go. He's at the tail here. And, only taking 3 position, it's going to be very difficult because we got some stout drivers in between himself and the P3 of Corey Hallett. Craig Kenny and Campbell Delaney checking out their leaders. Some momentum here and get to the back bumpers.
Kenny, still your leader as we are closing in on the end of this one. He's been the leader since the start, but Campbell Delaney's not been able to get away like the last time. Not too far behind is the 57 and the 81. Oh, this contact!
Look at that, Corey Hallett's around.
Right
the stank barrels.
Caution on the speedway.
Man, a lot of action here at Southern National with the barrels, eh? That's exactly how Eastbound Park is. Eastbound International got the same setup there in Turn 4.
Yeah, Stafford's got this weird pit road entry where they kind of start almost in the middle of 3 and 4, so we don't really need the barrels or anything like that. But kick-ass beef jerky instant replay. Take a look at the number 57 car, and we're gonna see. Looks like he gets a little bit of a shot from the 81 there. Sends him right into those barrels, and it actually looks like he gets stuck. Well, he does get it going. So good news there. Yeah, but has to drive down pit road. Luckily, it doesn't look like he's going to lose a lap here. That's going to give us 9 cars on the lead lap.
Will they penalize the 81 for this? We will find out.
We will find out together.
Oh, there it goes. Maybe they're listening to us. But now heading to the rear of the field. Really opens the door for Wade Craswell. The 67 machine will now be in the P3 and that beautiful position on the inside. John Kane in the 35 will be on the outside. But look at that. Ryan Twinham now comes into play. The 888 machine in P5 will be in row number 3 on the inside. So this could be an opportunity for the 888 machine of Ryan Twinham. Jonathan Pollard now up to row number 3. That was a man on a mission, but we are going to get down to just 3 laps to go as they come around 1 and 2. Pace truck lights are out. It's going to be the 90 machine of Craig Kenny going to lead him around. Last restart, he hesitated, held the field back. Will he drop the hammer as soon as that truck gets out of the way? We will see his strategy in just a moment as they come around 3 and 4. It's going to be all the 90 machine of Craig Kenny, your leader, and he will not hesitate this time. Different strategy, threw off the rest of the drivers, and Campbell Delaney kind of fell behind there, but he's going to tuck in. And look at that 6-7 machine of Wade Craswell now got a fleet of Muppets trying to come up through. Denver, are you ready for a firework?
White flag is in the air. Yes, it is. Craig Kenny, your leader. Campbell Delaney, they've been top 2 all race, but going into the final turn, Wade Craswell looking to hold on. Ryan Twinham, one last dive. It's not enough. Kenny, your winner. Delaney and Craswell will qualify as we are wrecking across the start-finish line.
The 888 of Ryan Twinham really wanted to make a go of it right there. Coming into P5, starting on the inside of row 3, but just not enough as Wade Craswell does a fabulous job into 67. That's going to put him in the big show. But like you said, Craig Kenny, official winner of the last chance qualifier. He's going to make it into the show as well as Campbell Delaney. And we are going to have a 5-minute warm-up. 100 laps are going to be on the board. We are taking 7 drivers here tonight for the TCM 300 for tomorrow night's Super Bowl. So we are going to take a little quick break here. As we count down, we're going to see some of the drivers warming up. Danny Chisholm's out on the board. All drivers now on the Southern Speedway.
Out there on the racetrack, looks like somebody already hit the phone. And that's how we get down here on Vidane TV. But we were promised a top 10 video here, and Tim actually got us hooked up with this. This is the moment many people have been waiting for over on the Tim's Corner Motorsports website and our Facebook page and the timscorner.ca website. We finally got the answers to who are the top 10 drivers in the Tim's Corner Motorsports popular vote. So we are going to take a look at that right now. We're going to kick it over to Tim's Corner Motorsports founder, Tim Terry.
Thanks, guys. We are excited to unveil the 10 drivers that have made it to round number 3 of the TCM Most Popular Driver Award. Voting ended last night for round number 2. Here are your 10 finalists. We'll begin with Ashton Tucker, the 2-time RE/MAX East Coast Elite 250 champion, 2-time Breakout Performer of the Year on TCM. He'll be a part of the round of 10. Ricky Miller from Alberton, Prince Edward Island. His family's been a part of this award for a few years. This is his first appearance in the Most Popular Driver final round. Congratulations to Ricky. Sarah Thorne's been here before. 4-time finalist, a runner-up, a Breakout Performer of the Year, a Finish Line Vinyl Design Best Looking Car Award as well. She'll be looking for her first Most Popular Driver award win. Austin Hiscock has won before. He's been here in 2017 and looking for one more to become the first 2-time champion of the award, as is Megan Perrott. She's back once again, now a 6-time finalist for the Most Popular Driver Award, looking to go back-to-back in 2020. New to the final ballot and back in the Maritimes, Gary Elliott, the Iron Man, is here and looking to win his first Most Popular Driver Award from Tim's Corner Motorsports. Former Rookie of the Year on TCM, it's Courtney Oblinus making her first final round appearance, the 2015 Kings County Performance Rookie of the Year and the winner on Speed Weekend when it comes to sportsman competition. Ryan Van Orscott is the most popular driver in Cape Breton. He makes his first appearance on the final ballot. He drove for Tom Sim on the Maritime Pro Stock Tour this year. Sam Jardine becomes the first demolition driver from Speedway Miramichi to make the final round on the TCM Most Popular Driver Award. 4 Powder Puff wins this season and 3rd in the championship points. And finally, BJ Gillespie from Harvey makes his way into the final round, storming to the front in the middle portion of round number 2. So we'll see what BJ Gillespie can do, the sharpshooter from Speedway 660. There are your finalists on your screen. Voting begins tomorrow. Be sure to head to timscorner.ca and cast your vote for who you think is going to be the TCM Most Popular Driver. Back to the boys from Vidane TV to call the TCM Last Chance Rumble for the TCM Special Events Super Late Model 300, presented by Highway 311 North River Market and the Turkeytown Mud Bog.
And there you have it, folks. The moment everybody's been waiting for. The Tim's Corner Motorsports Most Popular Driver Top 10 have finally been revealed. And you saw that reveal here on Vidane TV. So very excited for that. And we do also want to take this opportunity, about a minute left in warm-up here, for these drivers to get their last laps in before the 100-lapper, the Last Chance Qualifying Rumble 100, as we've coined it. But we do want to give a shout-out to one of our network sponsors here, Rent-A-Race-Car. Rent-A-Race-Car is currently booking rides for the 2021 season at Stafford Motor Speedway. If you've ever wanted to try your hand at wheeling a real race car, but you have been unsure where to start, look no further. Rent-A-Race-Car likes to supply the arrive and drive environment. They'll supply everything you need to from head-to-toe safety, from the helmet to the suit to the shoes. All you need to do is fit yourself into the seat, come to the track, and race. Each rental includes getting the car to the track, the crew to get you all the input you need, gas, tires, everything. You show up ready to rock. $650 gets you the full night of racing, from the 2 practice sessions, the heat race, right into the feature event of the evening. You'll also be responsible for a $500 crash deposit, but if the car comes back in one piece, you get that back the same night. Now, if $1,100 right off the rip is too steep for you, that's not a problem at all, because Rent a Race Car is now finally offering a monthly payment plan to all of its renters. Be sure to contact them on Facebook with any questions, facebook.com/rent.racecar. And always remember, this isn't a ride-along, it's a race. And boys, I think we are lining them up here for the 100 lapper, the Rumble, the last chance qualifying Rumble for the TCM 300, 100 laps here at Southern National Motorsports Park. Bring us that starting grid.
Well, welcome back to Kinley, USA, Southern National Motorsports, and welcome back. It is Kyle Young and Denver Matchett and myself, Mike James, on the rock. It's going to be a rumble. 29 cars will be vying for the chance. The top 7 will be going to the big show tomorrow night, the TCM 300 Big Cash Shootout. So we will find out what's going to transpire. Our top 3 from qualifying time trials is going to be Kyle Boudreau will get the top spot, the 26 machine. Brett Suggs will be on the outside in the 27, with Matthew Barkhouse starting on the inside of row number 2. The 38 machine, Travis Roma, will be on the outside. And Kyle, are you there, bud?
Sure am, gentlemen. I apologize for my tardiness, but hey, it's better to be tardy than not here at all, right? What's going on? How we doing?
Good. We're getting into the pole there now in row number 3. We got Mike Run, Rational Richard Drake in the 141. You want to give us a couple rows?
I would if I was in the server and had access to the lineup.
I can keep it going. Oh, yes, we got Chris Roma rolling off P7, Scott Alexander, Danny Chisholm, Tanton Woolridge, your top 10, followed by Brandon Lively, Conrad Murphy, Joey Steers, Brandon Campbell, Barrett Bonner. That's your top 15. Pace truck is heading pit side. 100 laps. The Rumble is underway at Southern National.
29 cars with only 7 going to the... Kyle Young from New York joining us here. And it's going to be Brett Suggs taking over the lead with Kyle Boudreau in P2. But they are stacking it up too wide for 2nd to 5th spot. They are running hard. And look at that Danny Chisholm, hard charger right now in the 7th position. But looking strong here in the early parts here, Kyle.
He was 1 spot out last night, looking to do better and qualify for tomorrow night's TCM 300 in this final event. But he's going to have to wait here just a little bit longer. Pace truck revisits the racing surface. We've got trouble on the racetrack potentially there. Paul, I think scrolling through there may have involved that 90 machine of Craig Kenny. Not exactly sure, but that's what you're for, Paul. The Kick-Ass Beef Jerky Instant Replay. We send it to you, and you take care of all that fun stuff for us.
Feeding time comes early here in the 100-lapper Kick-Ass Beef Jerky. Check them out at kickassbeefjerky.com. Use that promo code SIM500. Get 19% off your entire order. Pretty cool when you start ordering the big boxes of jerky that they've got. We're going to rewind the old replay here to find out exactly
19%, not 20%.
19%, exactly. That's one less than 20% for those using the new math.
Hooked on phonics.
Hooked on mathematicus. But we're going to take a look. It looks like the 90 car was a little bit out of shape before they made contact with the 12. You can see here he kind of gets a little bit squirrely on the outside line as he's coming back up. He gets into the back of the number 19 just a little bit. You see the 12 car shoots on down low, and the 90 spotter just might have been asleep at the wheel there. Didn't let him know that there was somebody coming, but tough break. It looks like he actually reset down pit road and is still there. It looks like he's just about ready to lose a lap there. So it's going to be a tough break for the number 90, Craig Kenny. He's been strong all night long. Unfortunately, it looks like he's going to be finishing scoring this race in last.
Now, Denver, we've seen a lot. We've had quite a few qualifiers. Any top picks for yourself tonight?
This is going to be a hard one to pick. There's a lot of talent in there. A driver that showed speed, it's been Danny Chisholm. If he can work his way to the front, he might be tough, but those front two, some of the fastest in qualifying, they're going to be tough to beat. As the green flag's going to be in the air, and then it's going to be Barkhouse and Boudreau barreling into turn number 1 with a hungry field of cars chasing them down.
29 in the field, Kyle. This is the biggest field in the main event that we've seen. So there's 4 extra cars in there. some big drivers that didn't get to qualify for the first 3 nights. So this is going to be probably one of the most interesting 100 lappers, and we'll see if we see any pit road activity. But Kyle, you got us pick out here?
You know, it's so crazy to think that this feature event right now is filled with drivers that have already raced this week and have not qualified. Matthew Barkhouse, Brett Suggs, Mike Rhino, Kristen Travis, Roma, Danny Chisholm. These are insanely talented sim racers that we've seen here on Vidane TV over and over again find success, and they're in a last chance event. I'm very impressed with Matthew Barkhouse right now, riding that top side. We made mention of that throughout the week, how that line, as these races progress, as the night progresses, that outside line becomes more of a factor, and I think Matthew Barkhouse is showing us that right now. He has not left an inch open on that right side door for Kyle Boudreau. He's making a good run at it, and he's clipped off a couple laps led here while doing so.
For sure. It's always good to see a racer that's going to utilize that outside line. Last night we see Mike Alexander out there trying to pinch the driver into the apex, but Matthew Barkhouse with a similar strategy now, and he's going toe-to-toe right now with Kyle Boudreau. Every time now just within an inch of the front of the 26th of Kyle Boudreau, but they are continuously side by side on the outside. Matthew Barkhouse looking super strong here tonight.
What a battle up front, lap after lap, side by side. Barkhouse with the advantage that time, not able to clear the 26. He's still digging. How long can he run on that outside? How much does he want to burn up his tires? But he's got Chris Roma right on his bumper. He is ready to pounce if one of the top two were to make a mistake.
Cars wrecking.
We got a wreck off turn 2, and that's going to draw a caution, and the whole backstretch pretty well blocked. Lots of damage, lots of weapons in that one.
I think, Kyle, you got a better peek at that.
Yeah, guys, looked like there was all sorts of drama that went down there in turn number 1. Taking a look here at our kick-ass beef jerky instant replay. I guess I'm going to take over for Paul on this one. Screw it, why not? We'll change it up here a little bit. We got an extra guy. Started way back at the entry to turn number 1. There was a little bit of contact going in there between the 38 machine of Travis Roma, the 87 of Danny Chisholm. You're going to see it. Well, actually, it started behind Roma. Brandon Lively got into the back of Roma, got him all sideways. Then Joey Steers tried to fit the hole underneath that contact created, just wasn't able to do so. The door closed, he goes around, and I think there may have been some more contact that happened behind there. You saw there from that helicopter shot towards the outside wall that a few more cars had piled in and got involved with that one. So I'm thinking there may have been some more contact behind that. All sorts of things happening right there, and unfortunately some good guys facing the wrong way, and they're going to have to bury themselves or unbury themselves here throughout the rest of this one.
Paul, I think Kyle Young just trumped you and just... You're fired.
He took away my damn beef jerky.
He took your job away. You did mess up, though, Kyle Young. Did you see the route Travis Roma into the back of the young gun, the 87 machine, Danny Chisholm?
I did catch that. I thought that contact was from Roma on his own, but it looked like Brandon Lively had gotten into the back of Roma and shoved Roma into Danny Chisholm. Great job by Chisholm to hang on to that race car. We saw last night he took a pretty big shot to that outside wall. Avoided it there that time there on this incident. He's got a clean car currently sitting inside of a transfer position. He's got that last one, but still right around that bubble like he was last night. Lots of drama and excitement around that 87 machine.
So I don't know how Travis Roma gets in front of Danny Chisholm if Travis Roma hit the back bumper of Danny Chisholm, but we'll let it go. Lights are out on the pace truck. It's going to be Barkhouse bringing around the 26 machine of Kyle Boudreau on the outside. We're going to see some side-to-side action, hopefully, but Matthew Barkhouse will not hesitate and will take control. The 26 now finds himself in a position with Chris Roma on the field. The 83 trying to come up through Denver. This could get exciting for the top 10 here.
Chris Roma had been sitting waiting for a chance to pounce, and the opportunity is there. Roma to second place, and I believe that might be Brett Suggs looking to follow him through on the inside. And Danny Chisholm, he was almost all in the wall a few laps ago. He is looking to crack into the top 4 as we have a caution once again. Another incident towards the back of the field, it appears.
Yeah, that looked like that happened just outside of the top 10. More contact involving the 70 machine of Brandon Lively. He had a little bit of help this time. He was the giver in the contact in the previous caution. Now this time he is the recipient. Taking a look at the Kick-Ass Beef Jerky instant replay. Tainton Woolridge right behind in the 56 machine. He goes to the inside going into turn number 3. Not quite clear enough. Makes contact with the left rear corner panel of Brandon Lively's car. Scott Alexander in the 55, nowhere to go. He piles in, spins the 70 around. Woolridge went around, he went down pit road, and that is why we are under caution here, just shy. Well, now that the caution laps are clicking off, just beyond the quarter mark of the way through this last chance qualifier rumble event here. It's been good. It's been very good. We're seeing the best of this racetrack right now, seeing the best of these competitors, and seeing how much this means. This is it, guys. This is it. No other opportunities after this race. You're either in or you're watching the show with the rest of us right here on Vidane TV. So you got to get up on the wheel and make something happen.
Now, Mikey, that's a Newfoundland term there, where he gave her. You really just want to slightly give her. But it looks like the 70 gave her just a little bit too much, and he ended up pointing in the wrong direction.
Yeah, she wasn't cutting smooth.
She wasn't cutting smooth at all, bud.
She was naughty.
Learning how to speak Canadian here on Vidane TV. We looked it up. We looked it up so you don't have to.
Check out the Outhouse on Facebook. You'll find out a little bit more. But we're going to go back to action. Matthew Barkhouse will have the control car on lap number 28. Lights are out, Kyle and Denver. What a beautiful evening Thursday night for the TCM Last Chance Qualifying Rumble. And I got a funny feeling we're going to have a few cautions here tonight.
Without a doubt, what a show we have seen so far, right from the first heat race. Chris Roma now gets his chance on the front row. He's got one of the fastest laps of this race. But Matthew Barkhouse had a huge launch in the last restart. We're about to see what Roma and Barkhouse have. Pace truck pulls in. Barkhouse waits. There he goes. What a launch for him once again. Roma going to look to slide down in front of the 26 of Boudreaux. Not quite there. Now he's going to be able to clear him. And here comes Brett Suggs on the outside, looking for that third spot as they battle side by side, third on back.
Great battling going on through the top 5 here. Boudreaux's got the advantage coming out of turn number 2 on Suggs. Suggs trying to hang on that outside door panel, not able to do so. Boudreaux will clear, and that's going to allow Danny Chisholm to pull side by side with Suggs' number 33 machine. Chisholm will have the advantage through the center, but the caution flag flies. Not sure if he had that spot by the time the caution came out. We'll see here momentarily. Looks like we've got a couple cars in trouble on the front straightaway. That would include the 67 machine of Wade Craswell. He is involved. Craig Kenny got a piece of it. Tainton Woolridge also collected in that one, but it looks like it started up a little bit further ahead from where those guys were running. I think there was contact between the 12 machine of Quentin Carpenter, the 88 of Caden Tufts, and then the 19 of Ryan Walsh. So got him pulled up here on the Kick-Ass Beef Jerky instant replay. Going into turn 3 there, you see Caden Tufts getting into the back of Quentin Carpenter. Carpenter gets up into Ryan Walsh. Both of those cars make contact, and Walsh goes spinning around. And then number 19 machine, there were a couple other cars that kind of got checked up afterwards behind that. That was where Tainton Woolridge, Craig Kenny, and Wade Craswell got collected. A little bit of connection issues there with the 12 machine of Quentin Carpenter. I thought that he went around initially, but he was able to save that contact. You can see where Craig Kenny and Wade Craswell were involved there. So a fairly minor incident, though. It collected about 5 cars. Everybody should be good to continue on. And these guys in the back, they've got to be careful. We haven't really made too much mention of this throughout the week, guys, but these drivers are racing with a 25 incident point cap. If you collect too many of these incident points, you'll be out before you see the checker flag.
Yeah, and there's plenty of laps left to go with 35 completed with 65 to go. Ryan Walsh, the only driver from East. He is the lone soldier. We have got participants peppered from all over the Maritimes as well as in North Carolina. So quite a big field here, 29 drivers. Throughout the week, we only had 25. So that extra 4 cars with the last chance, this is going to get a little bit more tanglier as we get closer to that 100 mark. with the top 7 going, like you said, there's a lot of stout drivers here. And what we've seen earlier, Richard Drake was making a charge there, sitting on the outside now. Rational Richard Drake in the 141 machine is in the 8th spot now, looking in. Oh, my order just changed. So he's now positioned as position 7. So he is on the inside looking out.
Well, I think you were right with him restarting in 8th. I think he just nipped Mike Rhino at the line to take over that position. Oh, immediately go green, and the caution flag comes right back out. The 55 machine, Scott Alexander, he is in trouble. I saw him get spun around sideways. He may have saved it in the center of turns 1 and 2 there. Looks like he did. The 55 machine, Scott Alexander, able to recover, but it kind of stacked the field up. Dave Cassidy got all crossed out of the way. Cars sliding and beating off of each other. That will bring out the caution flag once again.
And the weapons are back once again.
Have you experienced a race like this in real life, boys? Because I'm sure when we first opened Eastbound, there was plenty of nights like this.
You get nights like this all the time, depending on, usually it depends on if there's a full moon or not in the sky. I don't think we're in a full moon tonight, but we're seeing some wild and crazy action here. You get that when you get down to the hooligan race, the Royal Rumble, the Last Chance.
See, the problem with having races like this in real life is that the caution laps usually don't count, so you're stuck on the same portion of the race for so long. Right now, since we're in the feature event, these caution laps do count. We continue to progress through the race, so that's at least a bit of a benefit in our hands right now, racing on the sim.
Definitely. There's been times where when caution laps don't count, you'll be stuck on lap, say, number 4 for an hour at a time, but we're clicking them off under caution, and, the field will start to dwindle itself down, and I'm sure we'll get to see some green flag action before we get to the end. A driver we haven't talked much about yet, how about Brandon Campbell worked his way up into the top 7? I think he started a little farther back mid-pack. Apparently, all the yelling I did at him this summer at Speedway Miramichi has paid off. He's up into a transfer spot. Rational Richard Drake, one of our heat race winners, I believe, from earlier, up to 7th. Mike Rhino, Conrad Murphy, some really good competition up in this top 10.
All the way back, though, Kyle, like Dave Cassidy is sitting in the 18th position. Ryan Walsh is in 20th. Quentin Carpenter's been strong. Jake Goodwin is in 27th. I mean, Barrett Bonner's all the way back to 26th. You got some big cars. Nick Pache. A lot of these drivers, like I said, it's a bit of a funny last chance qualifier for the main event for Des Moines. There's some big drivers throughout this whole field. Right back to position number 29. But we are gone back to green. Matthew Barkhouse gets the hammer and gets clear. Look at that, the 87 moving all the way up into position 2. Takes it away from Chris Roma. Now, will we see Danny Chisholm put some pressure on Matthew Barkhouse after charging up through the field? Danny Chisholm was one of the fastest cars last night with Corey Hall taking the win, but got into that wreck, got some damage, but right now, Chisholm is looking pretty strong.
Yeah, the top 6 really have broken away. The battle rages on for 7th. Rational Richard Drake has it right now, but they are battling hard as they head into turn number 3.
Kyle Boudreau's got to be careful here, guys. He's been up towards the front the majority of this race, but now he's starting to slip backwards, and he's currently sitting outside of a transfer position in position number 8. So he's one spot out. He just gave that up to the 34 machine of Mike Rhino. And Mike, as you were just talking about, no matter how you put it, there are going to be a handful of big name, very competitive, very strong drivers that miss out on this race. We had, I think Tim said, right around, if not over 100 different drivers register for this event. There's only 30 spots up for grabs. You're going to have talent that missed this show, and that's why it's so exciting to watch throughout these preliminary nights, not only to see who gets in, but to see who misses out. Not to put any of them down, but it's wild to see such great competition struggle, and it shows you how difficult this race is to make.
Well, in a lot of races, some of these guys like Jake Goodwin would be a front runner here, but now all the way to the back. He's down a lap, did not report the pit road yet, so he's down a full lap here. And so it's going to be interesting to see. Jake Goodwin does still have the opportunity of the lucky dog, so he can get that lap as well as Craig Kenny. So they're going to have to stay strong here. And like you said, it's still 49 laps, and you could still have an opportunity even from the back here. You could get a half a field wreck here, and then all of a sudden you have a 28 sitting in like 8th. So lots of laps left to go here, boys. This is going to be an interesting final 48 laps.
Since we've just passed halfway, a lot of hard battles back towards the 15th position. And these guys are getting dicey. You see Tanton Woolridge cutting his way through the traffic. He is on the charge. He has showed speed all weekend too. He's got some work to do, running in about 16th place, trying to chase down Mark Williams. But up front, Matthew Barkos is soon going to have a challenge from Danny Chisholm. Chisholm's closing in a little bit faster lap after lap. Chisholm's been fast all week, had some tough luck, been involved in some incidents. He is looking for redemption. He is looking to take the win here tonight. As there you see it, the battle for the first spot on board with Chisholm on the bumper of Matthew Barkos. Just behind Chisholm, Chris Roma is licking his chops as lap traffic is soon going to come into play in this one.
Yeah, you can see on that shot there, guys, how much lap traffic is up in front of these leaders. They're going to have to be really patient, really careful, and really intelligent working their way through. Chisholm's got Chris Roma about 2 or 3 car lengths behind him, and then there's a pretty large gap back to Brett Suggs in position number 4. These guys can afford to be patient here. You don't want to make a silly mistake getting through lap traffic and find yourself facing the wrong way and losing your transfer position when you are well inside of one. You see Barkhouse right up onto the back bumper of the 72 of Jeffrey Tufts right here, and he gets into the back of him and spins him around. I just mentioned it, and you have it right there. Matthew Barkhouse making a mistake in lap traffic. Fortunately, though, he was able to recover quickly. He may lose the lead to Danny Chisholm. He got into the outside wall, but keeps that car pointed in the right direction. Caution flag will fly, but a very scary ordeal for your top 3 cars as the lapper right in front of him gets turned around.
It's going to be really interesting to see how this gets called, because technically that caution was on Matthew Barkhouse getting into the back of a lap car who didn't want to get out of the way. And it's understandable. You really want to try and stay on a lead lap, but unfortunately the 15 got into the back of him, spun him around. Danny Chisholm, there you see it, did become your leader. But man, it's going to be interesting to see just how that's scored. Taking a look at it again here, 72 just kind of stays on the low side. 15 gives him the old Teddy Christopher. 1 bump, I'm here. 2 bumps, hey, get out of the way. 3 bumps, see ya.
Shame on you.
Wow. What a mistake.
Kyle, if you recall last night, I know he's got his name changed. It was Todd Tufts last night, the 72 machine. They got Jeffrey Todd Tufts in there tonight. But the 72 machine last night was a lead for almost half the race and had an amazing night. Found himself here tonight in the Last Chance Qualifier. So, unfortunately for Todd Tufts and the 72 machine, that's not looking good, as he will continue to slide back here. He's 1 lap down. He has reported to pit road. Hopefully that makes a difference here, but quite a few cars now down a lap. But we're now seeing Campbell Delaney, Barrett Bonner went down pit road, Scott Alexander went down pit road. So quite a few cars. We have 6 cars now reporting to pit road. Tanton Woolridge, who was in position number 14, has now reported down for tires. So this could be the only night of the week that we actually see pit strategy. Leaders are all staying out because they do not want to give up that position.
Still waiting. Barkos still running, or scored in the 2nd position. Looks like we're going to cross him up. Barkos is still going to be P2, so, lucky there. That could have been bad. End of line penalty would have been detrimental to Barkos' night, but he's going to line up outside of Chisholm and get another shot to get back in the lead. But Chisholm's been fast all night as the pace truck into the infield. Chisholm on the launch. He is going to clear Barkos as they head into turn number 1.
Your top 3 cars going to go single file. First side-by-side battle is for 4th with Brandon Campbell on the bottom in the 99. Brett Suggs up top in the white and green number 33. Campbell, small little wiggle coming off the bottom of turn number 4, loses momentum. Suggs nearly clears going into turn number 1, but can't quite do it. That bottom side hooking that 99 car up. He will take the advantage going into turn number 3. Good side-by-side battle here. Mike Rhino right behind, looking to take advantage of whoever falls back first, and it looks like the advantage will be given to Campbell, so Rhino will sneak underneath Suggs down the backstretch.
And that's one car we haven't talked a lot about this evening, the 67 Carolina native Brett Suggs. Strange to see him here in the Last Chance Qualifier, but so as many like Rational Richard, Mike Rhino, like we said all throughout this evening, Travis Roma, so many of these stout drivers finding himself in this last chance. But Suggs now being able to come out of that outside line, tucking in behind Mike Rhino, and now finds himself in the 6th position, coming down, losing, like you said, a couple of those spots, but he's kind of in the pressure point right now. Himself and Richard Drake are in the transfer to the 7th spot. Travis Roma, Kyle Boudreau, Brad Hayes, Cameron Murphy are all coming on strong.
We got 30 laps remaining in this one as Danny Chisholm is setting sail up front. But the drivers from about 3rd, 4th on back, they're just riding single file, biding their time. When do you make your move? How long can you wait if you're some of these drivers? It's going to come right down to it as Rational Richard Drake kind of looking to the inside of Suggs there, nothing there. Roma sitting, licking his chops, waiting to make his move.
Mike, you made a great point with Brett Suggs mentioning how it's so surprising to see him in this event. If it goes to show you how difficult this is, last Tuesday night, just 9 nights ago, Brett Suggs was crowned the RBR Maritime iRacing Series champion here on Vidane TV, racing these same Super Late models. So you have a driver that is a championship-winning driver in these race cars, finding himself in a last chance showdown event for this big event going on this week. So it just, again, it's another element to add into how difficult that this race is to make it. And look at him, he's so barely squeezes underneath the Mike Rhino going into turn number 3. He's in 6th, he knows he's in right now, but he's only got 1 car cushion. Richard Drake in 7th is the last car in. He wants more, he's trying to get it, but the caution flag will halt his progress. We have trouble somewhere on the racetrack. Looks like scanning through here. Gotta be honest, guys, I don't see it on first glance. We'll have to take a bit of a more in-depth look to see what happened there to bring out the caution with 25 to go.
Well, while Kyle looks for that, we actually did speak with the RBR Maritime League admin, Craig Tolley, a little bit earlier on tonight. He did make mention that Brett Suggs, the lone Canadian in the RBR Maritime group, he's actually joined. American. Did I say Canadian? Yeah, he's the lone American in the Canadian League. Had a couple of wobbly puffs myself. It's fine. Everything's fine.
We're in Mexico, Paul.
Oh, are we? Oh, great. Let's take it.
Sunday and 30.
But yeah, no, absolutely. Brett Suggs is the lone American in the RBR Maritime group. He's actually joined forces with the RBR guys. He is on Team RBR, so he's been working with the Chris and the Travis Romas and all the guys that have run that league. So pretty cool to see those guys working together. Kyle, did you find where that caution may have come from?
Yeah, I did, Paul. The reason why I couldn't find it was because it was a disqualification due to incident points. The 19 machine of Ryan Walsh, his rough night comes to an end here. He got some help from the 88 machine of Caden Tufts and the 61 car of Nick Potier. Tufts got into the back of Potier, got into the 19 machine of Ryan Walsh. Walsh got spun sideways, and as he was spinning, he was disqualified for too many incident points. I mentioned that earlier in this race that guys have to be careful about that. Ryan is not too happy about getting disqualified, but man, 25 incident points, guys, that's a lot of incident points to be racking up. Just couldn't find a way to avoid it all. And you see as he tries to get back down the track, disappears. He's DQ'd, he's done. He will not be racing tomorrow night.
Yeah, no harm to Ryan Walsh, and a lot not involved, but kind of involved, you know what I mean? Not the cause, but that's not how it works here in the sim. So unfortunately for him, once that 25 points, and that's not done by the control tower, that's actually put into the system at the beginning of the race. So once you hit your 25 points, that's it. So unfortunately for Ryan Walsh, the lone soldier from Newfoundland and Labrador, is done for the evening, but hopefully we'll see him back in future events. But we are back to green. Danny Chisholm gets the hammer, and he's going to want to keep that clean air as he gets in front of Matthew Barkhouse. But the true battle right now is from third all the way back. Side-by-side action. Roma has Brendan Camel to the outside, and Brett Suggs will have Mike Rhino. Rational Richard has Travis Roma coming up strong. This is going to intensify, folks, as we get to lap 82. 18 to go here.
As we got trouble, big trouble. Conrad Murphy involved, Tanton Woolridge involved, Dave Cassidy involved. We just stacked almost the whole back half of the field up. That will draw a caution in the closing laps of this one. a tough break for a lot of drivers, just outside the top 10, I believe, and a lot of damaged cars there.
Yeah, that happened just inside the top 10 spots. Guys starting to get aggressive, really trying to make last-ditch efforts into getting into the show. We'll take you through here on the Kick-Ass Beef Jerky Instant Replay. The contact going to start here with the 17 machine of Brad Hayes, the 89 of Conrad Murphy. Actually, it started a few cars back. That 23 machine of Joey Steers, I believe, kind of overdrove the entry going into turn number 3. No, it actually happened even behind Joey Steers. That was a big-time accordion incident there. Todd Cousins actually got into the back of Joey Steers. Steers got into the back of Woolridge. Woolridge gets into the back of Conrad Murphy. Murphy gets into Brad Hayes, and it just causes all of them to scatter and splatter all over turn number 4. Cars are spinning everywhere. Mark Williams, Dave Cassidy, Tanton Woolridge get involved. A lot of guys having to slow up and come to nearly a complete stop with trying to avoid this incident to make it on through. We'll see going to make things much more difficult for these drivers that just got collected with less than 20 laps to go. And guys, I just want to throw this element in here too. Mentioned Ryan Walsh in that previous incident. He is still not very happy. He's trying to make his points known with race control. That incident limit that took him out of this race, he's still trying to fight that. He is very unhappy with that.
Well, at this point, it is what it is, and we will see him back in future events. Very stout driver, first year in the U.S. Speedway this season, and boy, what a show he put on for us coming out of the hobby stocks. Very well respected, and we're excited to see what he has in his future in racing career. So, but we're going to get back and look at this. Jake Goodwin heads down and picks up 4 new fresh Goodyears. Very deep in the field in position number 21 with 12 laps to go here. I'm not sure if it's going to make a difference, but everybody at the tail trying to get as much as they can. This could flip over in just one caution, so we'll see what happens. Goodwin with 4 fresh. We are going to go back to green. Chisholm gets the hammer, gets a great start, jumps to the high side and puts the block on the 15 of the hard charge of Matthew Barkhouse. But look at this. Brett Suggs now coming on strong, gets to the outside, trying to get to the back bumper of the 15, but Roma's on the bottom. Chris Roma in the 83 machine will go toe-to-toe, but has the advantage on the bottom.
Battle for third, but a little farther back. There's a battle for the transfer spot. Rational, Richard Drake, and Travis Roma are side by side. Here they come. Drake with the advantage, and that is the 26 Kyle Boudreau right there looking to pounce, hoping that these two make a mistake. The top 6 starting to check out a little bit, but this is the battle for position number 7 as we are coming up to the final 8 laps of this one.
Couple cars getting collected behind them. Woolridge is sliding. He saves it. Conrad Murphy and Brad Hayes made contact. That's going to cause a little bit of separation for these guys battling for that final transfer position. Maybe now they can afford to get a little more aggressive because they don't have as much pressure coming from behind. They'll click off lap number 92. Richard Drake holding on to that final position. Kyle Boudreau, first car out. Travis Rome with Conrad Murphy looking to get in. You're watching all of the side-by-side battling going on just behind those transfer positions. These guys need to figure it out very quickly because all of this, oh, look out, Quentin Carpenter is sliding through turns 1 and 2. Will he gather it up? He does. Great save. We stay green.
Slide job, but we have 2 packs forming here. We've got everybody back behind the 11th position, Dave Cassidy, but the real big picture right now is Richard Rational Drake trying to hold off Kyle Boudreau and Travis Roma. Roma in the 9th position, trying to throw out the real estate fishing rod and going a little salmon fishing. Look at that, Danny Chisholm, Barkhouse, now about only 4 laps to go, boys. This is going to get exciting. But we will find out.
Suggs to the inside of Chris Roma for position number 3. He's going to set his sights on Matthew Barkos. As it stands, no one has anything for Danny Chisholm. Popsicle sticks in the air. 2 laps to go. The battle will focus on position number 7. The final transfer spot. Do or die in the final lap and a half of this one. Can anyone? Can Woodrow? Can Roma? Do they have anything for Rational Richard? 1 lap to go. Bring us home.
Final time around the Southern National Motorsports Park. If you're going to get into the show, you need to figure it out now. Danny Chisholm going to cruise to victory. We'll watch Richard Drake. Will he be able to hang on through 3 and 4? Checkered flags fall. Danny Chisholm will go to victory lane. Clean finish coming across the line. Here are your top 7. These drivers have transferred to the TCM 300 tomorrow night right here at Southern National Motorsports Park. Danny Chisholm with the win. He is in. Matthew Barkhouse finishes second. He is in. Brett Suggs, third place finisher, qualifies. Fourth place finisher, Chris Roma, is in. Brandon Campbell in fifth. He qualifies. Your sixth place finisher, the 34 machine of Mike Rhino. He goes to the Big Dance. And hanging on to that final transfer position in position at number 7, Rational Richard Drake. He gets the very last spot on the racetrack. He qualifies in, leaving all of these drivers on the outside. They will unfortunately have to join us here on Vidane TV and watch it all play out. Kyle Boudreau, the first man out. Travis Roma, Conrad Murphy completing your top 10. I don't necessarily know, I don't remember for sure what that second provisional is, guys. I know that there is there's 2 provisionals. I think there's 1 provisional for the New England, Pennsylvania group, and then I think there may be another provisional for maybe something that Tim decides on. So all those drivers going to have to hope that maybe they qualify for a provisional, but we'll let you guys take it through the rest and see who's
Let's
out.
do an announcer provisional.
Who's
I don't
your
know
pick?
if we should put ourselves in
No,
in such a position of power
we get
like
thrown
that,
under
guys.
the bus.
So, Mike, who's your pick if you're going to do it?
I'm not going there because then I'll upset somebody. Hey, Tim.
What's going on? What
Do I get a provisional?
Well, Mike isn't necessarily looking for a provisional of his own. Mike would like the power to choose his own provisional here, Tim. I don't necessarily think that we should give him all that power, but hey, this is your deal. We'll let you take care of that yourself.
That's a post-race discussion. But a great job by these guys. A lot of green flag racing, and we're going to see 8 drivers transfer in. I'm going to work on that starting grid because after we get done these top 3, we got some pole challenge business to deal with for tomorrow night. But let's get this party started post-race.
Kyle take third.
Alrighty, so we will kick it off here. Post-race interviews with our third place finisher tonight, Brett Suggs, in car number 33. Brett, this is a very strange position to see you in, having to come through a last chance showdown event, especially seeing that you just claimed a championship here on Vidane TV in these super late models just 9 nights ago. But nonetheless, you are in the show. You finished third place tonight. Take us through it. How did you get it done?
Yeah, I was really surprised to have the kind of qualifying speed that we did. I was getting a little bit worried there at the end of practice. I mean, I couldn't really lay down a fast lap. I think I was sitting 8th by the end of it. But yeah, just kind of saving tires. And I think we could have had something maybe even for Danny by the end of it. And we were right on the back bumper of Barkhouse. I wasn't going to be the one to wreck him. So especially when he's racing for the win and to get into the race Friday. So just let it hang and let it ride out, but definitely gave him a shot for his money, and to come home P3, I'll certainly take it.
Brett, one of the things that I've been trying to focus myself on throughout the week is watching the outer grooves of this racetrack work in and become a factor. I think once again, we saw that tonight as the night progressed. We have a 300-lap event coming up tomorrow night. What do you think those lanes are going to do? What do you think this racetrack is going to present to you guys as versatility goes to be able to use the bottom, the top side, the middle, wherever you guys need to move around to be able to make passes?
Yeah, I mean, I think for the guys that are running tomorrow, it's really going to be about getting to the bottom as soon as you can, because I experienced it early in the race, being on the top side, and I was worried because I thought I burnt my tires up just in a matter of about 10 laps from getting hung out on the top. So it might change a little bit once I know it's a super long race, 300 laps. So I think if a driver can just save for as long as they can, I don't know how many sets you get, 1 or 2. But if you can just save for as long as you can, once some rubber is finally developed up there, it might be competitive.
So it will be a very long race, as just mentioned. Kevin, to come through this event tonight, the Last Chance Showdown night, you're going to be buried pretty deep in the pack. What do you think are going to be some of the keys to success tomorrow night to work your way through, survive that long, and have an opportunity to win the TCM 300?
Well, unfortunately, as I had already told Tim kind of going into this race, I will not be able to make tomorrow. Just have a lot of things going on. College, it's our last couple of days of the semester, so won't be able to make the race. But definitely for those drivers that are, and kind of I mentioned it in the last point there, just being patient, being conservative, and you don't want to tap the wall. It's such a long race, especially with contact points coming into play. You don't want to wad your car up and not even be a quarter of the way through the thing. So just being smart, riding, saving your stuff for the final 50, 75 laps. If you can do that, then, you're going to have a clean car for the end of it.
Well, we will definitely miss seeing that number 33 machine out on the racetrack tomorrow night. It would have been a blast to see you try to make a charge all the way through and claim the victory. But still, nonetheless, a great performance tonight. You were able to showcase yourself one more time before we wrap up this entire event. Who would you like to thank for another great run?
Yeah, shout out to the RBR boys. Linked up with them past week or two ago, and it's great working with that team. Really nice to have some people to work with and some friends on the track for once. So just really happy with the way our team performed, and I believe Chris is going to make the race now since I'm out. So Chris will be in, Travis will be in. So just hope those guys can drive the way up through the field. But also, of course, my IRL sponsors, shout out to the Custom Matco, Lake Norman Power Cleaning, Breast Legs Race Marketing, Speed Energy Drink, and of course, last but not least, Tim and the entire production booth for putting this whole race on.
So those are the words from your third place finisher tonight. Unfortunately, not going to be back tomorrow for the Tim's Corner Motorsports 300 right here at the Southern National Motorsports Park. Now he's got me all confused as to who's in and who's out. I think I'll just sit back and wait and get the official word from Tim here once we're done with all of this. But we'll send it on down the line to see who's getting ready to chit-chat with our runner-up tonight, Matthew Barkhouse.
We are with the runner-up tonight, Matthew Barkhouse. Ran strong all race, top two. Just didn't have enough for Danny Chisholm at the end. Congrats on a great run, Matt. But what did you need at the end just to get by the 87?
I honestly don't think either of us would have made it by each other without using the bump or something. We seemed like we were dead even, and once that really slow car, whatever he was doing there, kind of when he checked us up and Danny got by, just because we got stacked up there, I knew I was going to finish second after that, especially with a little bit of damage.
So I want to ask you about that. Is there anything you could have done differently in that moment coming up on lap traffic? A little bit of an incident there?
No, I don't think so, really. There's no way to really know. There's some of these guys in here, they're so new to this game, and around these things, they're not quite up to speed. I think they don't really know what's going on yet, and it's just due to not being around enough, and with time that stuff comes, and it's the nature of the beast. I just wish there was a way for us to find a way to make the fields a little more competitive or strong, so we don't have these issues happening with the guys that have spent the time to get to this point to race up front.
A nice rebound to hang on to finish second. You're a driver that typically we don't see in a last chance night. So now that you have made the big dance tomorrow night, 300 laps, what do you think you're going to have for the field when the green flag flies?
Going to be patient. As you guys probably see in that first race, I had a bad pill draw and got wrecked on lap one when I got my first little bit of damage. So now that I know when you're at the back, you just got to be really patient and avoid some wrecks and hopefully have defenders on the car for the end.
Second place run tonight. Who would you like to thank for helping make this happen?
All the guys there at Rev Racing for always keeping me supportive and stuff, making sure I came out tonight to finish this off. And of course, Xander Sign Group, our Kinsman's Celtic Air Services, and all you guys are putting this stuff on it. It's going to make the winner a lot more fun having you guys announcing it.
Well, congratulations. Second place run, that's enough. That'll put you in the 300 lap tomorrow night. You'll get to chase some big money. Thanks for coming out, and best of luck tomorrow night.
Thanks. Have a good night, guys.
And coming up next, the 87 machine of Danny Chisholm. Danny, very much disappointed on the outside looking in, watching your teammates come 1 and 2 in the big event on Wednesday night. What was your strategy coming in after last night? Coming from all the way from the back, you wanted to get to the front, I'm sure.
Yeah, I pretty much just stuck with try to be patient and make it work if I get an opportunity. Had to didn't really get the best qualifying effort that I wanted, and had to come kind of from the back, but not really mid pack ways, and just work my way up. Was having a good battle there with Matthew. Kind of sucks that we got caught up with the lap traffic there, but yeah, it was just a good race all in all.
Been watching you throughout the 2020 season, and it's quite often I see you hard charge throughout the field. Probably one of the cars that charges up through the field quite often. Man, to get around some of this traffic, it's quite awesome to see you there. What do you got for us tomorrow? I mean, there's going to be 30 cars starting. You'll have a decent position now winning this race, but what is your strategy for tomorrow?
Yeah, I think I'm just going to try to keep doing what I did in this race and just slowly work my way up through the field, just picking people off when I get a good opportunity. It's really tough around this track, especially. It's really quite a tight racetrack. The outside lane works just enough that it makes it interesting, and I'm really excited to be able to work my way up and try to get to the front tomorrow.
Well, big battle throughout this whole 100 laps. Yourself and Matthew Barkhouse, only 2/100ths of a second off the best lap. Quite consistent lap times coming through. Matthew just explaining, it would have been difficult without throwing the bumper, but we didn't see that from either of you. What's it like running with Matthew? I know you've done quite a few races with Barkhouse.
Yeah, I'd say he's probably one of the most consistent guys. I mean, he never skips a beat. He's always within 1,000th every lap, and that's what makes him the biggest threat, I believe, is just how consistent he can be. He just will never, you always wait on most guys to make a mistake, and it seems like he's always the guy that you got to wait quite a long time for that mistake.
Oh, we've seen that throughout the whole 100 laps. Congratulations. 2020, bit of a wild year. See a lot of you at the early parts, and then some of the racetracks in the Maritimes open up. How was your season throughout the summer?
Yeah, we had a pretty good season. I got to run a little bit of Bandolo racing and kind of finish off my time in that. After 8 years of running bandos, was good. Got a couple wins, and was able to end it on a high note. And then we got back in the legend car and ran a few races. Ran a few races there. Got a win at Scotia Speedway in the Young Lions division. Then capped that season off pretty good.
Any big plans for 2021?
Nothing really fully planned. We're trying to put a legend car deal together and go up there and try to contend for some more wins.
Well, super excited to call your race here tonight. Congratulations once again. Anybody back home you want to thank for this big win here tonight?
Yeah, I first just want to thank everybody here, all you guys, for coming out and supporting us as drivers and commentating these races and giving us an audience to show our skills in front of. I want to thank Tim also for putting these deals together, and especially my crew chief, I guess you could say, Corey Hall, and Craig McDonald, who's spotting for me tonight. Everyone at CHR, they always push each other, and we push each other to go up there and try to contend for wins, and always seem to find us inside the top 5, and hope we can just continue that.
Well, that's awesome to see all three of you guys be buying big money tomorrow night, the big TCM 300. You will find it back here. You're going to want to tune in Eastern time, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock Atlantic, and 9:30 in Newfoundland and Labrador. What a show. It's going to be you guys vying for the big shot here tomorrow for the TCM 300. Definitely going to see some pit stall strategy tomorrow, Danny. We're excited to see you back.
Thank you very much, guys.
Now, Tim, what do you got for us?
Well, we're going to see if Paul can throw up the graphic for the starting grid for tomorrow night, because we've got some business to take care of there. We asked the 3 winners about whether they wanted to take the pole challenge or not. We only had one recipient, so Justin Fuller not only picks up $20 to go to the rear of the field tomorrow, he also picks up an extra $20, $40 total to take the back of the field, and he's the only one that has to compete with himself. So that makes sense. He's going to start 28th, as you see on your screen. Dylan Kopech and Corey Casagrande are the 2 NEP provisionals. Jake Goodwin is the All-Star Showcase provisional from last year. Everybody else is where they qualified. We should mention, though, Justin Fuller had the opportunity to take the pole challenge because Josh Parker unable to attend tomorrow. So his pole challenge duties fall to Mr. Fuller, so he'll start 28th tomorrow night. So Noel Fougere, easy for me to say, and Corey Hall will lead the field to green. There is your unofficial starting lineup, and that's all contingent on everybody accepting their league invite and all that fun stuff. So looking forward to it tomorrow, boys. Tonight was fun. Great racing. And looking forward to doing it again for 300 laps tomorrow. Brett kind of mentioned the strategy call. I believe we may be going with 12 tires. So give them a little bit of extra tires to work on. If they want to break the race up into thirds, they can, or do whatever strategy they want to. We're going to throw 65 incident points at them, so plenty of time to run into each other and run into the wall. So it's going to be fun. I can't wait to see who comes out on top to really kick off this season. And I guess I'll kick it over to Denver, because me and Denver have some work to do in the next 24 hours to finish up, finalize, and do some stuff for the Tim's Corner side of things for the third round ballot. But Denver, what'd you think of this thing tonight?
This was a fun night. We really didn't know what to expect. There was so many drivers in this field of all different talent levels. You had some really talented drivers that didn't make their way in through the first 3 nights of racing, which was also some pretty wild racing. All in all, a great week up to this point. Danny Chisholm, what a performance he put on. Him and Matthew Barkhouse, first and second, 2 great wheelmen. They're going to have their work cut out for them tomorrow night. It's going to be fun tomorrow night. It's a deep, talented field. And it was definitely was a fun night, and we'll see what they got tomorrow night.
Kyle, what'd you think? I know you missed the excitement in the heat races, but what'd you think of tonight, and who do you have your eye on for tomorrow in those 31 drivers?
Man, it's so cool to get to this point where we've trimmed our field down, and looking at the graphic right now, you just see nothing but talent. It's incredible to look at that names and see that is it. That's the group that we've got for 300 laps tomorrow night, and it's going to be exciting. I hope that these guys are able to put on a great show, and I hope we have a great crowd here on Vidane TV for all of us to enjoy. Really looking forward to this. And I got to be honest, Tim, it's kind of refueling my fire to get back on the racetrack in one of your events again. I love the pressure. I love the special feeling of a big event like this, having to put it all on the line and try to make it in. So I might have to strap a steering wheel back onto a steering column here in the future. But trying to look through and see who I want to make a pick, it's so tough. There's so many good guys. I really don't think starting position matters too much because it's a 300-lap race. So screw it. Why not go out on – I mean, maybe I'm going out on a limb. I'll take Justin Fuller. I know how good Justin is on iRACING. He is a tremendous sim racer. I don't think that the 28th starting place is going to be much of an obstacle for him. I think the big important factors to being successful in this race tomorrow night are to stay clean, stay out of trouble, and to be there at the end. If you can do all those things, you're probably going to have a good shot at being successful towards the end and maybe even walking out with a checkered flag.
Mike James, we'll give you the final thoughts before we hand it back over to the Mr. Showtime down there. What do you think? Do you have all the drinks and pizza lined up for tomorrow night? Because I think we're seeing a show.
Oh, it's going to be a Super Bowl tomorrow. This will be night 5. Kyle, and now Denver for 3 nights. Denver started off on Monday, so it's been a hell of a run here. It was a bit of a wonky 2020, even on the track for everybody. But it's great to be back here in the sim and seeing some of these drivers. I mean, I've seen some pretty talented drivers. We got some great ones coming out of Newfoundland, but from all over the place, from bandoleros. It's what an experience to call a bandolero racing against a super late or a pro stock driver. There's such a mix of raw talent in this TCM Special Events. And, when you see someone like a Danny Chisholm, a bando now progressing over to the U.S. Legends, taking on some of these pro stock drivers and whatnot and taking the win. So, this is pretty incredible. We're super stoked about tomorrow night. Pizza and beer is going to be on it. It's going to be a party. You're going to want to tune in. It's going to be 8 o'clock Eastern time, 9 o'clock Atlantic time, 9:30 here in Newfoundland, Labrador. There's going to be thousands of people tuning in. And, it's going to be a tough one to call. A lot of big drivers. Corey Hall's going to be strong. Mike Alexander's going to be strong. So many different raw talent. I believe Codner's going to be there for Newfoundland. So it's going to be pretty exciting to see some of these guys throw it down. And just like you guys talked about, pit strategy is going to be massive tomorrow. And hopefully We've seen 29 here in the field tonight. A few cautions. It gets pretty tangly at the back. I know you're going to want to have that fresh air in the front.
And as Brandon Campbell mentioned in the comments, we have a Hall of Famer joining us tomorrow night in Dylan Langell. So he'll be
it's
around.
It's going to be busy here.
It's going to be busy. So I guess he's buying the pizza and the beer tomorrow night. I think he owes Denver already from the season to begin with, something about a demo car or falling on a flat deck or something. But, Paul, what do we have coming up after the TCM 300? Because I think you and I are busy on Saturday, aren't we?
Yeah, we got a busy Saturday, just like it's been a busy week all week long. And, it's crazy, Tim. Every time you come to me and say, hey, so I want to do 6 races in a week, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, let's do it. And, man, you never fail to entertain the masses, and that's what we're shooting for here at Vidane TV. Man, it's been some awesome qualifying, some prelims here for the TCM 300. We finally have the field set. I'm not going to get to that upcoming events without making my pick. I'm going to go with, I got to go with the NEP driver, one of the admins over there. He races super late models at Stafford Motor Speedway. I've known him for a little bit. I actually hung out with him in Kopek a couple of spring sizzlers ago. Got to hang around as that guy that got a top 10 in a rent a race car. Street stock finish, but Corey Casagrande is starting 31st. He's starting shotgun, but he's a long run driver in real life and in the iRacing deal, and I definitely think he's going to be a force to reckon with once we come down to it tomorrow night. But we'll take a quick look here at the upcoming schedule. Obviously, tomorrow night, the big show we've been working for all week long, the Tim's Corner Motorsports Super Late Model 300 main event of the week. I'm excited. I'm pumped. We're going to have a stacked field on the track. We're going to have a stacked field up here in the production trailer. As you heard, Canadian Motorsports Hall of Famer Dylan Langell makes his return to Vidane TV. Saturday night, we're doing a doubleheader. Neps ran their race at Thompson here tonight. We're running the broadcast Saturday night, 8:15, their usual running time. And right after that, we're running the Sim 500 Vidane Super Speedway race. That's going to be the 87 cars at Talladega Super Speedway. We ran 56 laps green of 60 last time. Man, oh man, we had an absolute brawl fest for that race. It was 64 drivers that showed up, and going to be the same deal here, racing in heat races to make the main event of the night there, Saturday night. Taking a look, Naps running November 23rd. We're going to be running the Bar Memorial Race, and then the Tim's Corner Weekly Series. There's something Kyle might be interested there. A Wednesday night series starting December 2nd. Looking at 7:30 Eastern time for a starting on that. Running every single Wednesday. 7 races, 7 weeks of racing there. We might run a doubleheader in there somewhere at that point. And then the day after that, Sim 500 returns to Vidane TV for the Atlanta 150. And then another Saturday night, Sim 500 Vidane Super Speedway race there on December 5th. So lots of events coming up. Take a look at our full schedule over on the website, vidane.net/events. It gives you a nice, great big calendar to look at. Lets you know exactly when you can find Vidane TV on the airwaves in front of your face. So do want to thank everybody here for inviting us into your homes here tonight, your bedrooms, your living rooms, your kitchens, wherever you may have watched Vidane TV. If you had yourself a viewing party, be sure to snap off a picture of us on the big screen and join the conversation at Vidane TV. And I do want to make a special request to anybody watching here tonight. Share the broadcast, share the post, and share tomorrow night's post once we go live with Tim's Corner Motorsports and Vidane TV on Facebook. Let your friends know that they need to sit down and take a few hours to just watch this brawl fest that's about to happen in front of our faces, because it's going to be a stacked field tomorrow night. Lots of talented racers in both the simulation and in real life. Mikey's mentioned it all night long. Bandoleros, super late models, different tracks up in Canada, Miramichi, Speedway 660, Scotia Speed World, Stafford Speedway down here in Connecticut. There's drivers from all over the place. Jennerstown down in Pennsylvania, all over the Northeast, all over Canada, all over the North United States. Man, going to be a fantastic show here tomorrow night. But Tim, I'm going to kick it back to you for some final thoughts here tonight, and anything I may have missed in that upcoming schedule.
No, I think you got it all. Excited to see some Sim 500 races. Excited to see the Vidane Super Speedway. I missed the first one last week, so I'm excited to see this one this week and see who's going to get the upper hand and chase that belt down. It's going to be exciting to see that. The field tomorrow is going to be great. Join us if you can. Want to thank our broadcast crew tonight, of course, Showtime, Paul Strickland Jr., Mike James, Denver Magic, Kyle Young, Dylan Langell will be with us tomorrow, and our admin crew, including Paige Drake, Pat Healy, Brent Roy, and Brian Nagy. Legend Car Jesus joined us tonight. We were among the almighty tonight, so glad to have Brian along for the ride with us this evening. Before we close off the show, we're going to give you one more look at the top 10 drivers for the most popular driver vote. As long as we can get everything finalized and situated, we'll have the vote beginning tomorrow evening for the Tim's Corner Motorsports Best of 2020 round number 3. So until next time, keep the hammer down, and we'll see you at the track. Thanks, guys. We are excited to unveil the 10 drivers that have made it to round number 3 of the TCM Most Popular Driver Award. Voting ended last night for round number 2. Here are your 10 finalists. We'll begin with Ashton Tucker, the 2-time RE/MAX East Coast Elite 250 champion, 2-time Breakout Performer of the Year on TCM. He'll be a part of the round of 10. Ricky Miller from Alberton, Prince Edward Island. His family's been a part of this award for a few years. This is his first appearance in the Most Popular Driver final round. Congratulations to Ricky. Sarah Thorne's been here before. 4-time finalist, a runner-up, a Breakout Performer of the Year, a Finish Line Vinyl Design Best Looking Car Award as well. She'll be looking for her first Most Popular Driver award win. Austin Hiscock has won before. He's been here in 2017 and looking for one more to become the first 2-time champion of the award, as is Megan Perrott. She's back once again, now a 6-time finalist for the Most Popular Driver Award, looking to go back-to-back in 2020. New to the final ballot and back in the Maritimes, Gary Elliott, the Iron Man, is here and looking to win his first Most Popular Driver Award from Tim's Corner Motorsports. Former Rookie of the Year on TCM, it's Courtney Oblinus making her first final round appearance, the 2015 Kings County Performance Rookie of the Year and the winner on Speed Weekend when it comes to sportsman competition. Ryan Van Orscott is the most popular driver in Cape Breton. He makes his first appearance on the final ballot. He drove for Tom Sim on the Maritime Pro Stock Tour this year. Sam Jardine becomes the first demolition driver from Speedway Miramichi to make the final round on the TCM Most Popular Driver Award. 4 Powder Puff wins this season and 3rd in the championship points. And finally, BJ Gillespie from Harvey makes his way into the final round, storming to the front in the middle portion of round number 2. So we'll see what BJ Gillespie can do, the sharpshooter from Speedway 660. There are your finalists on your screen. Voting begins tomorrow. Be sure to head to timscorner.ca and cast your vote for who you think is going to be the TCM Most Popular Driver. Back to the boys from Vidane TV to call the TCM Last Chance Rumble for the TCM Special Events Super Late Model 300, presented by Highway 311 North River Market and the Turkeytown Mud Bog.